So the first game that we're playing is a game, let me pull it up. It is called Lookouts by Paranoid Hawk. Two lookouts meet in a desert far from the site of their gangs. With more in common than they could have expected, they scout out a town with rumors of gold. What will become of this fateful meeting? Lookouts is a romance visual novel about two gay trans mask outlaws in the Old West, finding refuge in each other, and a little hope for a better life. With roughly 45,000 words of story, and a 5 to 6 hour reading time, it's a much expanded version of the original made for the Gay Western Jam. The original Jam version can be played here. Controls: click or press the spacebar to progress and show dialogue. The menu bar will show up in the top right hand corner if you tap or mouse over it. And then it says that it's a browser game. Trigger words for alcohol, smoking, gun violence with sound effects, gun, death, blood, injury, mild transphobia, discussions of racism and settler violence. Injuries aren't described in graphic detail, but there are some visual aids and illusions. All right, everybody. So we are playing a Western dating sim from itch.io. I stopped following a while back. It's a day. I'm spelling it out for you. It's gay. It's gonna be fun. I have a feeling that this is essentially not going to be a game. It's basically just going to be a I'll repeat it all word for word. Go back in the VOD. No. It's not gonna be a game in that there aren't really gonna be any choices. I think I'm just gonna be reading a book. Okay? So we're just gonna go. I should have started this an hour ago. I did not realize this was going to be a 5 to 6 hour reading experience. 45,000 words. So this might be a part 1, part 2. But anyway, this is going to be a reading stream. Yeah. If you are not down for that, sometimes I do this. Check back next time, okay? But now that I know what the game is and what we're going to be doing, I'm going to change the lookouts. It's lookouts, okay, from just chatting. Back to our yaoi reading roots. Yes. Those are not my roots. Arc. Let's call it diversion. I didn't even need to ask. Salty's about to come already at the mere mention of gay visual novel. Boss. Oh, you can also see this. They do use anthropomorphic animals as the characters. So if you're not into that, dude, it's an itch.io game. That's what they do there, okay? Most of the games are either going to have the hottest, sluttiest looking men you've ever seen or furries, okay? But the stories are usually really good. I've played a bunch of, like 4 or 5 visual novels from itch.io, and the dating sims have been pretty good. T4T MLM Furry Visual Novel POG. Taurus, please type out those acronyms. Because Trade for Trade, Major League Marketing, Multi-Level Marketing, Furry Visual Novel, Trans for Trans, Men Who Love Men, Furry Visual Novel. Thank you, Gaycom. Damn, BRB, I have to dip for a thing, but I will be back. Sure, yeah. It's Ari, you can just say that you don't like furries, you don't like trans people, and you don't like gay visual novels, okay? You can just say it, Ari. This isn't a safe space for you, but I want to know who you really are, and so you need to just say it, okay? MLM being multi-level marketing. It's true. Boss. Sorry, you sure we can trust this friend of yours' info? It'll be a crying shame if you're wrong about this. This guy is someone to ride the river with. He'd never sell me bunk information. That town has struck gold. That's what he heard. Heard. He just heard about it. What kind of source is that? We can't go off of rumors, you nutcase. Can you hear the game, by the way? Can you hear the crickets? I didn't look at chat when I asked the last time. Can you hear the crickets in the background, please? I can turn the game up, but it's really quiet. Yes? Okay, good. Because as one, I always think multi-level marketing. Always. I always think it. Actually, I think Major League Marketing because I think of MLB, but with an M. Barely? Maybe I should turn it up. It is very quiet. Let's turn it up a little bit. Major League Marketing. But think about it. We'll be living like English kings if we take over a supply like that. What else are we going to do? The last job was a bust. We got nothing left. All right. We've had some bad luck and are running low on supplies. We'll take that town by hook or by crook. And if they don't have that gold, we can't take them for what they do. We can take them for what they do have and skedaddle. Alert, he's gone full Southern. I try to give the... Look, I'm really bad at voices. It's true. I'm really bad at voices. But I try. I kind of just have this one voice that I'm doing now. The lookout will go early in the morning. The lookout will go early in the morning and see what we're up against. But I reckon we can bulldoze this burg and have some fun either way. Alert, he's about to take away my rights. Alert. Yo, chill. Make sure to bring... Haven't you seen Brokeback Mountain? Make sure to bring us back some juicy details, won't you, Tomboy? He firmly slaps you on the back. Laughter fills the camp around the roaring fire. Sounds like you'll be riding at sunup to check the town out. You feel it's best to get some sleep. Sexual assault in my western? The desert is an orange haze. Scorched sands whip up around your horse's legs. The sun's hot against your back as you ride towards the city. There's not much... the music's kind of loud now, huh? Wait. Mute you. I had double audio playing. Okay, there we go. Wait, now I can't hear it. Fuck. Okay, mute you. There we go. How's that? Good? Should be background music. Cute sit, thank you. There's not much to be done while riding. The desert is lonely, harsh, bare. Only thing to do is think. He's cute. Hello, what is he? Is he a dog? What do you think? Is that one arm? Oh, hot damn. This is fine for me. Gotcha. It's scoreboard, I think. You don't like being alone with your thoughts so often, for so long, but you always are alone as the lookout, alone being the odd stick of the gang. No one talks to you unless they need something. What that dog doing? I don't know, Doris. We're gonna find out. You daydream as you ride, like usual. Flights of fancy, of settling down somewhere. You're tied to Curly Wolf and his gang, though. Is it so much to ask to be able to live in peace? To not have to fight for survival, always on the run? It was leaderboard, Maybe that's what your life will always be like, gang or not. A hunted outcast. They could have sent you off with some playing cards at the very least. I want to make the text faster. How do I do that? Right click? Here it is. Settings. Music, sound, full screen, screen reader. Ugh. Text speed, fast. Instant. Near instant. That's good. That one's good. That one's good. Okay, I'm cool with that. You come to an outcropping near a cliff. Tying up your horse, you approach the edge and see the town come into view. A nice frontier town, small but clearly bustling with people. White painted signs on the wooden buildings glint and bloom in the midday sun. You can't see much else from way up here and turn to get your binoculars. You open your saddlebag and pull the metal binoculars out, brushing it against your poncho to dust off the lenses. Turning back, you walk to the edge. A figure suddenly rounds the corner of a large rock you've decided to set up camp under. He's a bird! Okay, hold on. We need to make me smaller. I'm shrinking. Oh no, I'm so tiny. Wowee, look at me. I'm like an emote in the corner. Oh. Okay. He's tiny. Turning back to walk to the edge, a figure suddenly rounds the corner of the large rock you've decided to set camp under. Ah! Ah! Out of instinct, your hand snaps to your holstered gun and pulls it trained squarely at the head of this new person. The bird, who seemingly came from nowhere looks at you, clearly just as surprised and so out of sorts from your own presence. He shifts backwards, eyeing your hand on your gun. The air feels very still all of a sudden, and given you have the upper hand, you take a moment to look at who you just crossed paths with. He's definitely an outlaw, like yourself. A rugged beak shining in the sun centers a face you admittedly find charming. His face and arm are marked with scars, and a large sawn-off shotgun hangs from his holster. Fuck the bird? Wait a minute, damn. Since he's a bird, you know to be wary, just like he'll know to be wary of a canid? Canid? Like yourself. Howdy there. What's your name, partner? Joseph. And what are you doing all the way out here, Joseph? You seem a dreadful long way away from where one might think you should be. Could you ask you the same question? You stare him dead in the eye. Canid, okay? He's pretty calm for someone having a gun pointed at his head, but you can see some of his feathers quivering. Were you trying to sneak up on me, Joseph? Rob me blind where no one else can see? I bet you thought a fella missing an arm would be easy. No, sir. I had no idea you were here till I walked around this here rock. He passed the red stone beside him as if to make a point. Sir? What in the Sam Hill? You lower your gun like your shoulder joint just gave out and let it hang there. In all my years, no stranger has ever called me sir. Well, color me surprised, fella. You'd have to be blind or full of ticks to not see an upstanding young gentleman. All right. Now you're just licking my boots. The hawk puts a hand to his chest. God is my witness. I ain't lying to you. You holster your gun and snort a small laugh. May he strike you down as penance then. What are you doing out there? Picking flowers? The smile drops from his face. He stops short and swallows like he can't bear to say the next words. I'm part of the Black Vulture gang. I'm on a lookout here to survey this here burg. It's very forward of you, considering I just had a gun pointed your way. I'm part of the Curly Wolf gang. I'll be damned. You boys have been all over the West. What brings you right here? He's flirting! Much the same as you, I would imagine. Rumors of gold. You'd have it just right. Well, I can imagine what my boss might want me to do, coming across someone who's sticking their beak in our business. Joseph tenses up, feathers ruffled. He understands full well what you mean, conflicting interests and all. But he's not here. Will be a real waste of a good bullet to use it on you. Is that an insult, or are you trying to make a mash on me? A small jibe is enough to make you stop talking and search for the binoculars you threw when you pulled your gun, turning your face away to hide the blood rushing to your cheeks under your dark fur. You dust the binoculars off again and walk over to where Joseph is standing, his eyes keenly trained on the town. Don't need no binoculars then, huh? No, sir. These eyes can see all the faces of those people down there with no problem. Sir, again. Maybe it's just a habit of his to call people that. Say, why do you keep calling me sir? I ain't your boss. You just that much of a polite suck-up? Costs nothing to be kind on the trail, I found. What do most people call you? You thought this might come up, of course. You're surprised it took this long for him to ask about who you are, what you are. Most would say tomboy, I would think, or others that wouldn't repeat in such polite company. And what would you call yourself? The question takes you by surprise. Something else no one's ever asked you. I call myself a man. Is that so? Where'd this cigarette come from? He's gonna think you're a nut now. You just know it. You'd be better getting on your horse right now and riding back than staying another second round this stranger. Reading Cowboy is kind of hard for me. How funny. I guess we're on the same boat if I'm picking up what you're putting down. Might say that the guys at the camp don't use shove the queer to talk about money. You nodded him, unsure whether to laugh or not. Neither of you seem sure what to say now. Instead, you hold the binoculars to the bridge of your nose and investigate the town, looking down into the valley. Oh, you found an emote for me? Big trans. Yes. Good. Good emote. After a spell, you look at nothing in particular. After a spell of looking at nothing in particular in silence, you take the binoculars away from your face again, readjusting to the late morning light. You glanced at Joseph's keenly trained eyes, then back to the town. You can't help but stare at the clump of a couple dozen or so buildings. You couldn't help but think about the real people's lives going on down there every day. Deaths and celebrations. I missed it. My bad. How you were going to hurt them. How you were both going to hurt them. I don't get it. Joseph's voice snaps you out of your staring. Why would Black Vulture want to come here? There's nothing here. No mines in use, no bank, and they're sure as hell ain't rich by the looks of things. Maybe they struck a new vein. This is a miner's town after all. But you're right. Something strange is going on. Well, two sets of eyes are better than one, right? You want to work together? You watch my back, I'll watch yours. Deal? A huge, feathered hand shoots out at you in expectation. You look at his face, and you both lock eyes for a moment. You're not sure what, but there's something in his eyes that makes you feel seen, being looked at rather than through. Wow! The arm switched, but it's whatever, man. You gently grab his hand, and a second winged hand clamps on and gives your whole arm a big shake. Whoa, careful there. Don't need to lose another. Now kiss! Bro, we're 20 minutes into the game. We're 20 minutes into a 6-hour game. Give it a minute. He lets go and puts his hands on his hips, smiling at you. Hey, come now. Let's get on down there. He walks past you and heads toward the winding rocky pathway down the side of the valley cliff. I said kiss! Mwah. Rate the dap 1 out of 10. It was a little awkward from the dog, so I'd give it like a 7 because the crow. Come now. You gotta put a space in between come and now. Maybe if we had come and then come council and then now. You take a moment to look at the town again, walking along. Oh, I'd give it the crow really held that together with the double hand shake, so I'd give that like a solid 6 or a 7. Don't tell me what to do. I'm telling you what to do, motherfucker. Wondering if he could see how red your face had been under your black fur. So you're saying you want to add come council? No. No. I'm saying if you had an emote like come council to throw in the middle there. Like maybe boobs or ass. Try one of those. Wonder. Clambering. I like this art style. It's very simple, but it kind of gives like a... It's like these characters are telling the story from memory, and I'm like listening to them talk. And so this is like an imagination of setting the scene. You know what I mean? That's the kind of vibe it's giving me. I know that it's just like that kind of Crayola style, but I don't know. I'm vibing with it. Clambering down the cliff face, the shade of the valley is a welcome change after your long ride in the sun. Climb down is quiet. Only a few grunts and gripes. A couple voices of concern from Joseph. You quickly waved off. Oh, yeah, good one. Yeah, Gaycom. Yeah, now you're thinking with emotes. Now you're thinking with brain rot. I will say, making the scars the same color as the mountain range makes it kind of look like they're just see-through, and that's a little weird. Not gonna lie. You both approach a wooden sign you spotted a little ways off, swaying in the desert wind. It looked relatively new, a board hanging on 2 chains, a word carved into the wood. Can you read it? It was only a single word, but you couldn't piece together quite how to say it. No? Well, I'm sure someone will tell us. You notice some familiar smells drift on the wind as a gust blows through the town past you. They can't fucking read? Tobacco smoke, whiskey, stewing meat from somewhere. It reminds you of the camp. I wish they had drawn the sign and we could have read it and be like, you don't know how to read fucking town? Walking more into the town, you get a better look at the building. the buildings that were just dots up on the cliff. There was a saloon, at least, seemingly one of the older buildings in the town. My cat screams. He screams for me. He's been screaming all day. I don't know what his problem is. He has water. He has food. I opened the door for him. I pet him. I even brought him into bed and I cuddled with him for like half an hour. I don't know what he wants. He took a nap with me. I don't know what he wants. As well as what you guessed was a sheriff's building, although the sign outside looked to be busted up. Everything else you could see from here seemed to be houses and whatnot. Leftovers clearly made by miners, not built to be sturdy or last long, but had been fixed up to be livable for folks. Clearly the people here like this place, and if they get a whiff of why you're both here... Alright, partner. I say, if we get given any evil eyes, we hightail it out of here. Ain't worth getting shot in a place like this. Sure thing. We got each other's backs, remember? You nodded him. We'd best get talking to people. Daylight's burning. Oh, here comes someone now. Sure enough, you see a short figure approaching you from the sheriff's office. You hear the pound of a cane on the dirt as they limp toward you with a vigor in their step. Oh, it's a, what are they called? I mean, it's a lizard, but I can't remember the name. They're real spiky. What the fuck? Bearded dragon. When they get closer and the haze of the desert heat obscures them less, you see a smartly dressed old lizard standing before you both. Cane in one hand and a metal flask in the other. Howdy, fellas. I'm Sheriff. Welcome to Clemency. A pleasure to meet you, Sheriff. He gave the lizard an expectant look, waiting for a name. The name is Sheriff. Just Sheriff. That's all you need. And what do you call yourselves? What did I miss? Everyone died. You didn't miss much. I'm a slow reader. My name's Joseph, and my associate here is... He gestures towards you and turned to look at you, a subtle panic running across his eyes. You realize that he just realized you never gave your name. What is your name? Robin. Robin's a good name. I'm Robin. Pleasure to meet you. You said this while looking at Joseph, resisting the urge to wink at him before looking back at to Sheriff. Say, so what brings you two to our fine town? We're just riding through. Needed a rest stop. There a problem with that? Joseph nudges you with his elbow a bit, glancing at his eyes. You can tell he's saying, don't be rude. No, not at all. I'm just the closest thing we have to a welcome committee, and it's always nice to see some new faces all the way out here. Robin is such a classic trans name. I had a friend, the same friend that was like, never had a girlfriend, no interest in dating anyone, but swore he wasn't asexual, just had no interest in dating anyone, ever. Is 30 now, still has never dated anybody. And every time we played a game, character was named Robin. Anytime we played D&D, character was named Robin. I would not be surprised if that friend was trans. It would make a little bit of sense for some things. It would also be very confusing for other things. You know what he said to me one time? I was like, so you don't want to date anybody? He was like, no, I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to date. It's that I don't want to date multiple times. I was like, so what do you want? He was like, if I'm gonna be with somebody, I'm gonna be with one person, and I'm going to marry that one person, and I'm gonna have kids with that one person. And I was like, but how do you know what you want? Or that how are you gonna get that person if you have no experience dating? How do you know? What if you think you want something and then you date them, marry them, have kids with them, and then you're like, I don't want this at all. This sucks. How do you know? You have to date. You have to at least talk to women to find out if you even want to date them. How do you know? He was also the type of person to tell women that they shouldn't eat Taco Bell because it'll make them fat. So like, I don't really know what he's doing. He's more successful than me. He's fucking rocking it in life monetarily, but I don't know what he's doing. But it's interesting that you say Robin is like the classic trans name. Maybe that's why they did it, because Robin is like a name that trans people can relate to very, very openly. Maybe they did that so this character could be very relatable to young trans people who might play this game. How long will you be staying? The saloon has some rooms if you'd like to stay the night. Yeah, I think they defo did it on purpose. 100%. And I'm okay with the name Robin. Robin and Joseph. Good names. That's an awful kind offer, Sheriff, but we'll be gone before nightfall. At least that's the idea. Maybe we'll like this town so much we stay. Oh, Ari is back. I thought Ari was going to leave because Ari... Oh, a smudge. Very good. Good emote. I thought I had smudge. I accept this smudge. Joseph and Sheriff both chuckle, and Sheriff sighs. Well, you boys, let me know if you need anything else. I'll be at home, most likely. Will do. Yep. With the tip of the hat, Sheriff turned and started walking back to the building at the end of the road. His for real, Gaycom? With the lizard out of earshot, Joseph turns to you. So, partner, what's our plan? You look around the town for a moment, surveying the handful of people walking about, talking to each other around their houses, taking in the warm wind blowing past you with a deep breath. We get talking to folks. And what? They just run their mouth about the gold they found? No. But I reckon a town of this size, if they've struck something, there'll be a buzz about it. We ask them about themselves, about the town. Someone will spill sooner or later. All right, then. Well, I got a pretty good peep at the place on my way down. We got a saloon just there. We got some sort of town hall over on that far side. And we got sheriff's station at the end of the road by the looks. Where to? Let's go to the saloon. Let's check out the saloon. I reckon if anyone knows anything about these rumors, it'll be in there. I think that both characters, how much gang have I missed? They've not been nearly enough. Yes, true. I think both characters are big trans. We don't know if Joseph is big trans, but we definitely know that tomboy Robin is big trans. And we don't know if the characters are gay, just that they have flirted and a little bit of flirtiness. More like awkward, I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Alrighty then. Walking through the doors of the saloon, you're hit with a very familiar smell of tobacco and alcohol hanging in the air. A couple patrons drink and talk quietly in the corner, not taking any notice of you two. You see a dozen or so tables, and looking up, there's a second floor with the rooms Sheriff mentioned. Howdy there. Your attention is grabbed by an excitable and friendly voice coming from a short bird standing behind the bar, who was now grabbing a couple glasses. My name's Bartholomew. What can I get you fellas? Peacock, let's go! It might be a Roadrunner. I think it might be a Roadrunner. Because these are all like Arizona desert animals, right? Like think Rango. You know Rango? One of Johnny Depp's best movies. Think Rango. Hi, Golden. Hope your day has been going perfectly. My day has been mediocre at best, but I appreciate the sentiment. Roadrunner makes more sense. Yeah. He started wiping the glasses expectantly, glancing between you both as you walked the few steps from the doors to stand at the bar. Have you recovered from yesterday? I'll get a beer. All right. And you? I'll have what he's having. Yep, coming right up. He sets the mugs down and disappeared through a door behind the bar into a back room. I don't have any money on me, Joseph. Don't worry about that. It's all me. It pat you on the back with a big wing a couple times, but withdrew his hand when he saw you wince a little. Oh, sorry. Was that too hard? No. You're fine. You hadn't winced from pain. You just weren't used to someone touching you. Like that, at least. Friendly-like. Bartholomew reappeared with 2 glass bottles, tipping them into the mugs with satisfying glugs before taking a couple coins from Joseph. Thank you kindly. You both take a sip. Joseph seems to enjoy it, but you find it a bit more bitter. You try not to pull a face. Not like it? You smile weakly. Not my thing. Noted. He winks at you, and you feel your cheeks redden a little. You both... Okay, all right. In the last time I played D&D, I played a crow, and I just keep, like, flashing to that character. And I like Joseph. He's funny. He's very sincere. I've only met him for like 20 minutes, but I like him. You both keep drinking while the bartender busies himself behind the bar. The saloon is quiet. A piano sits gathering dust in the corner. Are those the crows who have to speak using... Yes, and I did that. Except the thing was... Okay, a minor breakdown of the story. My character was a human, but was an evil... Worked as like a one of the entourage of the big bad evil guy, and got smited by God, who was Tyr, I think. Tyr smited my character when they were human. But the big bad evil guy had a plan for me and was like, it was a Kenku. It was a Kenku. Not our Kokra. It was a Kenku, yeah. And so in this universe, names were very important. And so they found another character, a Kenku, that had the same name and was the same age as my character. And they basically did... You guys ever watch Jordan Peele's Get Out? The movie Get Out, where they, like, the white people crush down the souls and minds of the black people and then superimpose their brains, their personas on top, and the black people, like, get sunken into the depths of their psyche. The big bad evil guy basically did that to the Kenku and shoved my soul into that body and bound our souls together because we had the same names. So they did kind of like a demon thing, and that's how I was a Kenku. And so I did do the voice thing, but I was kind of like... Man, my character was really evil. Now that I think about it, really evil. It was fun. I'd never finished that campaign. Had a falling out with my roommate, and we moved away. I never finished that campaign, but it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I kind of very evil, literally like kill God. Is imagining you explaining this backstory. Then the guy next to you is like, "Yeah, I'm a floating loaf of bread." It was fun to be evil. Actually, the thing is the character developed over the campaign. I didn't create a backstory at all. None of us did. We just gave the concept of the character. I wanted to play a Kenku with a specific name, and I was like, I want to start as a rogue, but then turn into an assassin. But you have to be evil to be an assassin, and so we had to make up a reason why my character would be evil, and all of us had amnesia. Because we were like living inside a soul gem. We weren't actually in the real world. We were inside a soul gem on an island, this big nation island. It was crazy. It was a very, very good campaign. Ari, how can we use our powers for evil? You guys literally are the most evil people I've ever met. I think that if anyone said, "Do you have any evil chatters?" I would say that gay commie is the evilest chatter I've ever met in my life. I would say literally that gay commie is evil, and by proximity. By affiliation, Salty and Airy are the most evil people I've ever met in my life. It's true. You guys are literally evil. Why am I evil? I'm not going to explain. If you can't answer that, it's because your evilness is blinding you to your own actions. It's true. I don't write the rules, man. I just write the rules, okay? Anyway, it was a really fun campaign. That's the campaign that inspired me to write a campaign. To like write a fantasy, big overarching fantasy campaign, because that guy did such a good job at writing his story over the course. He wrote it all through college, and it wasn't until his senior year of like fucking 6 years that his last semester of college that he finally got to play with me and the group of people I played with, and then we took like a 1.5 year break, and then we tried again, and we got really far into the campaign. Then we had a falling out. But I played a Kenku, and so this Joseph is reminding me of my Kenku. That gay communist, corrupted by my pure, gentle soul. Salty, you were like this. You were like one of my first regular viewers long before Gaycom even found this channel. I think you have always been this way. You are just emboldened by Gaycom. You have always been evil. I know you. I've got you pegged. Not me personally, but like, I can see it in my mind's eye. I'm not doing the pegging. I shouldn't have said that. The saloon is quiet. A piano sits gathering dust in the corner. I'm all about empowering people. You peg Salty, #taking. Okay, all right. We're changing subjects. I'm gonna get some water. I'll be right back. Here's a raffle, everybody. Here's a raffle, gamble addicts. I like how Bro Lily doesn't actually talk. They just gamble. Be right back. Nothing wrong with gambling. I just think it's funny. Seemingly untouched for many moons, wind whistles through the gaps in the saloon doors, carrying the sound of desert insects. Ah, you lost. Slow day, huh? Crawling on. Okay, Salty, I'm literally going to ban you. Girl, do you have success? No, it's literally 50-50. It's 50-50. You're coin flipping every time. You look up from your drink and see he's looking at the bartender who doesn't seem to have taken any notice. He glances at you both and realizes rather sheepishly he's been talked to. Oh, beg your pardon. Slow day? Nah, this is about the usual. It's a lot more lively in the evening when the sun goes down. Everyone comes here to take a load off. So you know everyone here pretty well then. Oh, so you know everyone here pretty well then? Well, of course. Not exactly a big town. We're a pretty tight-knit lot here. Why is that? This is a mining town, right? These places usually explode with people. Well, I can't say I know much. He looks oddly unsettled by your question. How long you lived here for? He perks up again. From whatever you said that troubled him, the brightness returning to his voice. Oh, well, I'd say somewhere close to 8 years. That's a darn long time. Yeah, I suppose it is. That is a long time. What made you stay? Never mind staying. How'd you even find this place? I've never even... Oh, wrong voice. It doesn't matter. I've never even heard it till we stumbled past. Bartholomew's cheery smile dropped a little, morphing into something more wistful. Gaycom 100% going to fall asleep, like the face of someone looking at an old, now bittersweet photograph. You boys ask a lot of questions, don't you? You and Joseph look at each other for a moment, expecting the other to say something, but nothing comes out. I don't mind. To give it a fair shake, this town ain't the most exciting. It's nice to see some new ears that ain't tired of my squawking already. And gives a little half-hearted chuckle. He's nice. Whoa! Cinematic! Well, I found this place because I heard about there being gold. Like a lot of folks, I was fixing to get my fill. It's truly a challenge to not fall asleep while listening to an audiobook. I'm always in bed while I watch streams. Really, Golden? Even last night? Did you, have your laptop on your chest? Oh, yeah, dude. I'm fucking gonna find those ghosts, man. Oh, God. Look at me, human centipede, golden life. Was that you last night? I assume that everybody who is on their laptop in their bed is, fucking has their laptop up to their neck and has the screen, right here in front of their face, and they're just typing like this. Because that's what I do when I'm in bed. I don't, have that shit in my lap, all the way out here. I have that shit right here. And when I'm laughing, I'm like, ha 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 ha. It's midnight, bro, Lily. 5 hours ahead of me, European. Wait, Phasmo is on the PS5? Hashmir, what? Hashmir, what the fuck? What are you saying in my chat? I had no idea. I thought it was PC only. You don't just get on your phone Lately I do, and that's because I have everything plugged into my computer, and if I unplug stuff, then in OBS I have to connect my microphone again every time. I have to reset up I have to double click on every single peripheral and re-add it. So my camera, my microphone, my audio interface, my capture card, I have to select everything on those. It's so annoying. So I never unplug my laptop anymore. It's kind of no longer a laptop. It's kind of a desktop now. I probably, if I had like a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio, I probably would be happier with it now. But I do like having the really, really nice Mac monitor and then my secondary, a little bit lesser quality big monitor that I do most everything on. So I can bring it over and be like, what does this actually look like? What are the actual colors? You know what I mean? You and Joseph both lean in a little at the mention of gold. My fiance was running away from home, and I was going with him. We thought we'd go out west and make our fortune. Looking back on it, I get why so many called us foolish. I might have been one of them if it were the other way around. But we had our hearts set on it. We followed the road by wagon, and it was damn tough, hellish even. Thank our lucky stars we made it here to Clemency on a wing and a prayer. That was when we really felt like we were foolish. When we got here talking about gold, we almost got ran out of town. I don't know the details, but there was a lot of trouble here when miners ran this place. No one's been digging for decades now, but word hadn't traveled far enough, it seems, to let us know at the time. At first, Sheriff told us to leave. Didn't want no more Icon causing trouble. But when Sheriff saw how stuck we were, how we had nowhere else to go, how rough the journey had been on us, Sheriff's nothing if not kind. Could see we weren't troublemakers, just wanted a better life somewhere. He shrugged, like there was nothing more to it. With the town's help, we gussied up this here saloon into something I could run, and the rest is history. I'm glad y'all found something here. Yeah, I can say that for sure. Clemency may be small, but it's something real special if you ask me. So there's no gold here. Bartholomew leaned back against the shelves behind him, crossing his arm. Not as far as I know. The mines are around here somewhere, but I've never seen them. This hasn't been a mining town for a long time, and folks here don't think of it as one. You do well to keep that in mind. They gussy, and we sussy. Good one, Salty. +2. He tapped the side of his beak as if to say, if you catch my drift. Even so, I will be interested in the history of this town. Afraid that well runs dry here. But there's others who've been here far longer than I have. You can always talk to Sheriff if you haven't yet. Sheriff made this place what it is today. Want to know something? Ask the lizard to talk to. Thank you, Bartholomew. No problem. It's my pleasure. Man, I have the hiccups. Bartholomew stood up from his lean and stretched his back and arms a little. Slinging his cloth over his shoulder, he picked up a small clinking and rattling box before walking through to the back room. Daylight's burning. I think we best get going. Agreed. He stood up at the bar and waited a moment while Joseph downed his beer, and then yours too. Hope you can hold that. Oh, please, how little you must think of me. Only a couple beers. You should have seen me at the Long Branch and Dodge drink the entire gang under the table. Can't help but smile at his cockiness, unsure whether to believe him. You briefly think back on the times the gang had gone to bars, and you were always told to stay outside, don't wander off. A dog on a leash, waiting for master to come back. Welcome back. Staring into lamplit streets and hearing the braying crowds all around you, drunken strangers enjoying each other's company as much as their liquor. At first, they told you it was dangerous for you to stray too far. Then they just started telling you to stay outside after you'd beaten the teeth out of a guy in an alley who you knew had been staring at you. Couldn't have you causing them needless trouble. Off so soon? Bartholomew re-emerged into the bar, looking expectantly. Well, don't be a stranger, strangers. You're welcome to come back later when the bar's more lively. My husband would love to meet you both. Oh. I'm realizing I'm giving everyone, like, the same kind of, like, male voices. I can't do a female voice if this person is female. Bartholomew. Bartholomew is male. So a male voice fits. Kind of sad of me to assume they're female because they said husband, isn't it? But if we do meet a female character, I can't really do female voices. I'm not really sure how to even do them yet. I think I need to watch some accent videos and practice more. Especially if I'm going to be reading audiobooks, huh? I don't think I can do a female voice. I guess we'll try. I'd probably just do like a more breathy version. Or assuming Bartholomew is a man. Yes, assuming Bartholomew is a man. Bartholomew is definitely a man name. If you can find a female Bartholomew in history, I'll fucking give you like 100,000 points if I can figure out how to do it. The casual lilt of his words caught you off guard, and you think you see Joseph stumble a little. Failing to get any words out, he just tips his hat, and you both leave the saloon, stepping back into the dust and dry desert heat. I'm realizing that Bartholomew never said that they said their partner or their honey or something like that. Bartholomew is an English or Jewish, generally also Christian, given name that derives from the Aramaic name meaning son of Talmai. Talmal? Talmai? Bar is Aramaic for son and marks patronyms. Talmai either comes from Telem, furrow, or is a Hebrew version of Ptolemy. Thus, Bartholomew is either son of furrows, i.e. rich in land, or son of Ptolemy. Bart Simpson is voiced by a woman, ergo woman Bartholomew. Son, cat okay. Okay, that doesn't work, Gaycom, but I respect the leap in logic and the mental gymnastics. That mental, like, flippy flu you did, and then you stuck the landing like this, pretty good. Nice carol. Good carol. Let's go to sheriff's office. Sheriff should know something, surely. Oh, you wanted me to go to the town hall? It's too late, brother. Yes, sir. I doubt we're the only ones who've come look-a-looing before. And Sheriff did say to come and find him if we needed anything. It's okay, we'll do the town hall next. You walk the same direction you saw the sheriff leave, down towards the closest edge of town, through what might be considered the main street, where this town bigger. Sheriff's office is modest, one of the smaller buildings in town, a short, square, stone block with barred windows and a lopsided wooden door. As you get close to the squat building, Joseph slows down and raises an arm to your chest to slow you as well. Okay, partner, what's the plan here? You and I both know the sheriff is going to be the most paranoid, owl-headed son of a gun in this burg. We can't just go waltzing in there, shooting our mouth off about just anything. Yeah, you're right. All we really need to know is if sheriff is going to put up a fight. Somehow I feel like they're not your usual lawman. You look around, thinking for a bit. Two halves of a tattered sign swing in the wind on chattering chains in front of the building. Seems it had said sheriff once, and the edges of it had the remnants of bullet holes, shattered and charred wood. I say we tell him what's really happening. To call Joseph's face incredulous. Where is this cigarette coming from randomly? At that moment would have been an understatement. He scoffed a little out of curiosity, rubbing his chin with a feathered hand and trying to think what you could mean. What are you saying? We admit why we're here? Acknowledge the corn? Sort of. I think we can tell sheriff that there's outlaws coming, and we're worried, about the town. That's a dangerous play. Oh, you're right, it is there. Nice catch. I literally could have just looked at the character. It's a dangerous play. Look, sheriff is going to have a good idea why we're snooping around if we don't have a simple, honest reason to throw off the scent. It's easier to lie when there's some truth in it. Joseph rubbed his chin again and sighed. I think so too. But still, I can't help to feel jumpy walking into the lion's den. You knew what he meant. For people like you, a sheriff's office was never where you wanted to wind up. I noticed that like 30 minutes ago. Okay, all right, stop bragging. Okay, all right, we get it. You have eyes? Walking into the office together, Joseph ducks to clear the doorway. You find the inside to be much more well-kept than the outside, which had clearly seen some wear and tear in its time. Sunlight and dust in equal measures came in through the windows. Landing upon the desk is the sheriff. Landing upon the desk of Sheriff, who was currently rapidly filling a piece of paper with pencil in hand. After you close the door behind you, you both wait for a few seconds for Sheriff to notice you. Before you can politely knock on the closed door for attention, Sheriff raises a finger on a pencil-holding hand and asks for a moment's more waiting. This was followed by a hasty scribbling onto the end of a piece of paper before the pencil was thrown onto the desk with little regard. Two keen eyes landed on you and Joseph. What voice do I give him? Howdy there, fellas. Thought I might be seeing you again. Howdy again, Sheriff. Now, what can I be helping you both with today? Well... Joseph turned to you. Locking eyes, you saw the slight wild panic of someone caught in a trap and looking for a way out. Do you protect this town? Sheriff looked miffed, unsure how to respond, like someone had just asked if the sky was blue. Are these his eyebrows? No, these are his eyes. What is this? What's happening here? Is this... What is this? This is his eye. I need to look at him with a different facial expression. As much as anyone else who lives here, yes? What does that mean? I thought you were a lawman. Maybe, is it old? Is he just old? I'm confused. Sheriff regarded you with some annoyance, still seemingly puzzled over what you were asking. I think I see the confusion here. I'm not a lawman. In fact, I'd say I'm not a man at all. Or a woman. Sheriff kept looking at you both, trying to gauge your reactions, whether he could be trusted, you guessed. My name is Sheriff. That is the moniker I've chosen, and I'd ask you kindly to refer to me as so, but not at all. Joseph tipped his hat politely. Not a problem, Sheriff. Do you run this town, then? That would also be a no. I'm a founder, you might say, but I don't solely run this town. You boys are asking some real strange question. Is there something I ought to know? Joseph had faltered, and now you did too. This isn't what you had just planned. You were just saying the first things that came to mind, fixing on Sheriff with a calm pair of eyes, but a shakiness in the knees. Maybe you hoped Sheriff would say something that would change things, change what you were both there for. Before you could fall over, Joseph placed a hand on your shoulder, and you tensed before he gave it a light squeeze, stepping in. Wait, I heard from some other fellas on the trail that there were outlaws around, coming this way even. I see. Well, you boys shouldn't worry. We know how to care for ourselves at Clemency. We don't get trouble around here often, but we make sure to run 'em off before anything starts. So you've been here a while, then? Yeah, ages. How'd you end up living here anyhow? What's the story? You said you're some kind of founder? Don't get it twisted now. I'm not really a founder. Well, hard to explain. I'm confused what's happening with this face here. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's just old. And this is his eye. And he's just old. And he's got like a hard jawline. Hard cheekbones. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a marshal. Got sent here some, 30 years ago already? And you liked it so much you stayed. Joseph gives a little bellow of a laugh. What is happening with his face? I need to stop looking at the characters. This is not his eye. This is his eyebrow. This is his eye. The circle. I'm calling it right now. This is his eyebrow. It only looks like an eye because of the slashes right here. But Sheriff's is much more half-hearted. Now, well, I wish I could say things back then were as good as they are now. Sheriff stood up, grabbing the cane by the desk that thumped softly as Sheriff started pacing a little through the small office, stretching stiff legs. You boys know this used to be a mining town, right? Of course. Well, I used to be the lawman of this mining town. Oh, look, it's his eye. Here it is. Here it is. He opened his eyes. Okay. Greenhorn out on their first assignment, trying to keep peace here. What a joke. The miners had it out for each other. There was nothing but bad blood and gold fever. I learned all too well during that time what it looks like, gold fever in the eyes, and what people will do to satisfy it. Ball upon the earth? Hi, Bumner. Welcome. I'm not really ballin'. I'm kind of poor, but I appreciate the sentiment. I'm bawling tears. I'm bawling, yeah, like crying, like tears. That's why you need to be careful when doing a deformed art style for your game, kids. It's true, yeah. When you're doing very stylized characters, you have to make them very. You have to make it very clear what face they're making, where their like features are, stuff like that. You got to make it very clear. Or if it's obscured, that needs to be the intention. But if it's very clear here, it should be very clear over here. Really, it's just the slashes on the eyebrows. But I think it's supposed to denote that he's old. Oops. Baller of the water. From my eyes. Bumner. That town was a constant powder keg, and I was only one marshal. Felt like there was nothing I could do. I felt like I needed to do more. I needed to do something to calm the place. I asked the marshals who sent me. They don't give a hoot. If anything, they tell me to keep my hands up. Let them figure it out for themselves. Shoot them if they step too out of line. That never sat right with me. If there's something you should know about me, about how I conduct my business and take care of this town, it's that I care about justice. Real justice. Not the justice others suck up to, claim to care about. I learned very quickly that the law is nothing about real justice. Sheriff punctuated those words, said with such fire, with bangs of the cane on the floor. The law of the marshals is not the justice I recognize. That's why I took on the name Sheriff. I wanted the name for myself. They didn't deserve it. Strange, I know. Thank the Lord, much good he's done me, that I met at least one like-minded person in that town. I like the scene changes. I like that they've given, like, it's not just staring at the characters all the time. Sometime in the winter, we had a caravan arrive in town. People who had been traveling long across the trail needed somewhere to stay for a spell. Had some to sell as well, furs and such, something to help get by. Friendly folks. I enjoyed their company, spent a night drinking with them around their wagons. The miners didn't take kindly to them. Didn't trust them. That was a week I'll never forget. Constant accusations of stealing and flare-ups, shouting matches almost ended in drawn irons. The miners were so darn jumpy and owl-headed about the slightest things. 3 days later, a miner turns up dead, stabbed in his sleep. The miners all accused one of the traders of doing it. A Mexican fella claimed it was his knife that did the deed. I had to arrest him. Held him in this cell here. A tap on the somewhat rusted metal bars with the cane rang out into the room. Traders all came to tell me that I was wrong, that he'd never do something of the sort. It helped push me in the right direction. I'd already had some suspicion about the miners' claims. A lot of accusations had been flying around about the Mexicans and Indians traveling the caravan. I did a little investigating. Found that the miner had been killed by one of his friends. Another feud about gold, some stolen or missing, and his so-called friend had killed him for it. The miners wouldn't believe it, insisted the man in the cell was guilty. I wonder if maybe they just couldn't see what I could, see things through my eyes. Felt like a mockery of justice, of everything I cared about. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Early the next morning, I asked the traders to leave and take their friend with them. Sheriff notices how intently you both were listening, watery eyes flicking between you both. Anyway, it's a lot of blabbing from me already. Long story short, I kicked the miners out. For the better. You make it sound like it was real easy. How'd you get that many miners to just abandon gold? I did what I had to, and I had no regrets or weight on my soul for it. Really, getting them out, that was the easy part, I suppose. We moved and rebuilt some of the town, further from the mines. We all wanted a fresh start. The years since have been hard, very hard. I don't have this stick 'cause I've been sitting on my jollies and gazing at sunsets. This town may be small, but it's a lot of work to keep going. The sheriff turned and went to sit at the desk again, a chair creaking beneath his old bones. Don't take my griping to think I'm not thankful for this place, though. I've done a lot for it, but it's done just as much. More, even, in return. How do you mean? I can't say I've ever really had somewhere I live do much for me. Sheriff sighed softly, looking out the window into town, a clear view of the cobbled-together houses cascading down the shallow hillside. Clemency has given me somewhere to live. I had many hopes when I chose to stay in this town, to try to make something of it. I've worked hard to earn the respect of those who lived here, as a person, not as an authority. People here don't see me as an oddity. They don't fear me. They don't mock or interrogate others for how they live. This ain't just a community. It's a family. We're all far from our homes, from the people who made us. But here we can make ourselves what we want to be. A town of runaways who don't got to keep running anymore. Sheriff stared out the window for a few more moments. The sun was a bright golden shine crossing wistful eyes. Turning back to you, Sheriff pulled back into the desk and got comfortable once more. Anyway, that's enough sap from me. Those outlaws, all you wanted to talk about? Yeah, I think so. You wish you had more questions to ask, more to say, more to hear about, but no other words escaped your maw except for thank you. Don't mention it. And thank you, too, for the tip-off. I'll keep these old peepers peeled. Yeah, thank you for talking, Sheriff. We'll be on our way now. But I did have one more question for you. You still with those marshals? In contact with them? I quit the day and rebelled against the miners. Never heard from them again. Joseph nodded, tipping his hat. And Sheriff, tipping him. Oh, shit. I stumbled. I was stumbling on my words. The dry desert air is warm in your lungs. Blazing afternoon sun bakes the ground beneath you as you walk near the edge of town again. Your throat feels tight, feet sore. There's a gentle pounding of blood in your head, accompanied by a familiar piercing ache. Everything seems hazier than usual today. Thoughts are swimming. You're fine. Just keep walking. You almost bump into Joseph as he stops short, looking around again, searching for anything you might have missed. You look as well, but the sun seems too bright somehow. You look down at your feet to shield your eyes, staring at the tiny dunes of your footprints in the dust. Hi, so where to now? I think there's only one place of interest left. You heard what he said, but it didn't quite stick with you. Yeah, sure. Should we get going there then? Again, hearing, but nothing stays. Your thoughts feel like just caught fish wriggling from your hand. What, do you have COVID? This is how I felt when I had COVID. This is like exactly how I felt when I had fucking the coof. Alright then, let's go. Yeah, let's keep moving. Joseph starts walking away, and you follow. You try to follow. Your feet move, but they don't land where you want, and you stumble a little. Joseph looks around at you as you stand there, staring at your feet again. Hey, what's the matter, partner? Huh? I feel a little dizzy. You doing all right? Didn't say anything. He places a hand on your shoulders and twists you to face him, looking down into your face. Yeah, you're looking a little sick there. Let's go sit down for a spell. He started walking with a hand on your shoulder, guiding you over to a ledge with a shallow drop you could both sit on and hang your legs over. Collapse incoming, 100%. You felt better sitting down, more stable. You hear the rustle of Joseph unclip something from the back of his belt, seeing him pull a round canteen between the two of you. When's the last time you had a real drink? Must be mighty thirsty if you're feeling that dizzy. Of course. How could you have forgotten? You've been riding and walking all day, but hadn't had a drop of anything since you set out. Although you weren't sure about what Joseph had brought with him. What's that look for? You think I got liquor in here? He chuckled a little and screwed the cap, letting you smell it a moment before taking a long gulp. Just water, see? Get it down you before you collapse on me or something. You sheepishly took the canteen from him and gave it a little wave in his direction as a cheers. You tilted to your dry mouth and take deep gulps for a few seconds, licking water drops hanging from the edge of your lips after. Bit warm for my liking. Can't beat cold water from a clean stream, but better than drinking out like your mama's washing. Drying out like your mama's washing. You take another swig before handing it back to him. Thank you. Don't worry about it. Just pipe up next time. Almost hit the dirt just 'cause you didn't say nothing. Sorry, it was just, we have a job here. Didn't feel like I could waste time. Pshaw. Can't even make time to sit down and drink. You're like most I've met. Who put a snake in your boots anyway? You gotta slow down a little. There's a snake in my boot. Maybe. I mean, what do you do to relax when you're off the job? Relax? Yeah, you know, relax, unwind, take a load off. I know what you mean. The question just caught you off guard a little. You weren't sure how to answer. You'd never given it much thought. What do you do to relax? The gang is always busy with something, traveling, hiding out, making trouble. Not a lot of time to not do anything. I guess I play cards sometimes. Mostly just solitaire. Respectable. You win much? No. I ain't about winning anyway. Just helps to pass the time. Yeah, I know what you mean. Me and the boys usually play some rounds of cards, sometimes betting. Although some of them are some real sore losers. Sometimes it's easier just to let them win and avoid the issue. I beat one of them at poker 5 times in a row, and I swear the rest of the week he was giving me the eyes. Found my hat full of knife holes one morning. But I think it was just to scare me. At least I hope it was. He gave out a loud guffaw, the real and unrestrained kind that made you doubt if the canteen really was just water. He had a nice laugh, you thought. Someone actually enjoying themselves. Maybe it was just nice to hear a laugh that wasn't done at you. You a gambling man? A flutter in your chest at the end of the ribs. Not really. Never had much to gamble in the first place. Always seemed like a waste. I can respect that restraint. Don't always have to be about money, mind you. When I was younger, me and my papa used to... He stopped for a moment, thinking and scratching his neck. His train of thought slowed by some forgotten memory. We used to play cards after dinner, and a lot of days. When I came home, I'd bring pebbles from the river. You guys are gambling such small amounts. That's baby strats, all right? If you're going to be gambling, look, if you're going to spam my chat with gambling, then you need to gamble real numbers, okay? Anyway, I always liked how smooth and pretty they looked. And lost every point. It's okay. I appreciate it. I appreciate the balls. Yeah, bro, Lily, you're doing baby moves, okay? First off, you're spamming my chat with gambling, and second, you're only doing baby moves. All sorts of colors and shapes, all of them different. We kept them on the mantelpiece, and when we played cards, we bet with them. They always won, but it was too much fun for me to ever be mad. I don't know why you guys are losing so much. Let me check it. Let me make sure, okay? Look, I'll log into Stream Elements right now. I'll log into Stream Elements just for you guys. Logging. Loading. Checking. Okay, let's see. Where is it? Chatbot? Chat commands, user commands, modules. Which module do I have enabled? Roulette. It is literally 50-50. I will make it 51. I have upped it by 1%. You now have 1% more chance to win than you did before. Well, if you actually give points to gamble, we would. Golden, I literally can't. This is all I can do. I can literally only do raffle. I was muted for a second because I sneezed. Think he did let me win, though. When I was betting big and was going to lose one of the rocks I really liked, he always knew which ones were my favorite and never wanted to see me cry. Can't think of any other reason he would have lost to me. Suppose I ought to thank him for teaching me. You weren't sure what to say, so you just gave him a soft smile. Family could be so complicated. You didn't want to say the wrong thing. It's like Pokemon, where the 80% chance to hit is actually a guaranteed miss. No way. Did they actually do that shit in Pokemon? No way. Oh, you know what? He dug into a pocket and produced a tattered-looking packet in his hand that you recognized to be playing cards. How about some Vink-Dat-Tun? What? Vink-Dat-Tun? You played that before? And we can bet with He twisted around himself, looking for anything he could use as stand-in for betting chips. You saw his eyes settle on a small pile of rocks for a moment, but instead noticed a stray feather, barely holding on to the back of his hand. He plucked it and placed it between you both, twisting how he sat to face you better. We can bet on this feather. We'll do a first to 5. You get it if you win. I keep it if I win. You swiveled yourself around to sit cross-legged and face him. Didn't know you were so desperate to gamble. You'd use your own body. Hardy har. Just thought it'd be more interesting than rocks. Oh well. I thought you were a rock lover, Mr. Rock Collector. Take him on the open road. Your own little rock circus. A regular Barnum. Joseph couldn't help but smile, even through his fake pouting at your teasing. I don't know if J.H. Barnum. J.H. Barnum? Oh, I only know him as Barnum and Bailey, so I guess that would be his name. Did you guys watch that movie with Hugh Jackman, the Barnum and Bailey, or the circus movie? What was it called? It had that song that was super popular. Sometimes I walk into like Michael's or Hobby Lobby and it still plays, but I can't remember the name of the song. It was a pretty good movie. It was like a 6 or 7 out of 10 movie, which is kind of a lot. Well, it's more like it always misses no matter what. Oh, it's like in Pokemon. Oh, yeah, I see. So it's like, yeah, if you did the math, if it could hit, it would do this, but it misses no matter what. I get it. I'm following. Don't know if J.H. Barnum has quite the same ring to it, frankly. J.H. Yeah, as in Joseph Harrier. My initials. Harrier Dubois from Disco Elysium. Did Kami go to sleep after he started to watch from bed? I knew that was going to happen. Kami would literally just turn on the stream and go to bed. That was their plan the whole time. They only got like 4 hours of sleep last night, man. Oh, of course. So, do you know how to play Vink-Dat-Tun? No. No? Rules are simple. I'm the dealer. I deal you 2 cards face up and deal myself 1 face up and 1 face down. Oh, I know this game. Idea is to get as high a number from your cards as you can without going over 21. If you go over 21, it's a bust. Same goes for me, but you need to get a higher number than me to win. A draw is called a push. It's blackjack, but yeah, it's just blackjack, but it's like 1v1. You can hit to get another card, a stand to stick with what you have. You can hit as many times as you like, as long as you're under 21. After you stand, I flip over my face down card and have to hit as long as it's under 17. If I go bust, or my number is lower than yours, you win. If you get 21 exactly, then you don't hit a stand, and I can get a push in that case if I also get 21. Cards are worth what the number says. Face cards like King, Queen, Jack, or 10. Where things get a little confounded is that the ace is worth either 1 or 11. Ace is worth 11 in a hand, unless it would be a bust, in which case it's just a 1. Ace can still be an 11 if it will let you win. Gets a little muddled during games sometimes, but I ain't trying to cheat you, so don't worry about it too much. Right, let's play. Like I said, first of 5 wins. Oh shit, we're actually fucking playing? Okay, so we've got a 12, so we're gonna hit. Okay, 15, so we hit. 21! Dealer's hand is the 7 of hearts, 9 of diamonds, making it 16. He hits. 26. Dealer's bust. We fucking won, dude. First try, baby. Okay, so we got a 17. I think we're going to hit once. 27. Fuck. You're bust. Dealer wins. Okay, we've got a 15. Hit. You draw the king of spades. Total is now 15. Okay, because, yep, that makes sense. So we're going to hit. 25. Fuck, dude, I suck. I suck. Okay, so we've got a 12, so we're going to hit. 20. Done. Stand. Push. No one wins. Go again. Hit. Oh, no. I should have stayed at 20. I'm a fool. Okay, I think we're going to stay at an 18. 20. Fuck. 15. 20. Stand. 21. Are you fucking kidding me? Sigh, bucko. House always wins, huh? Ah, well, still a game of luck. End of the day. Well played, sir. I played like shit. He picked up the feather, but to your surprise, held it out to you. Bro, I won what? Twice? No, once, and I drew? That was it? That was terrible. Yeah, take it. But you won. Ah, well, I don't have much use for a stray feather, do I? Got plenty of them anyway. You keep it. You took the feather in your hand, twisting the smooth quill back and forth a couple times between your thumb and forefinger. It was thin and tapered, and the color of coffee. Thick, uneven stripes of cream white ran all along it from the middle. Thank you, Joseph. Don't mention it. You pocketed the feather carefully. We should probably get back to it. As long as you're happy to and can stand steady, then I'm ready too. You swung yourself onto your knees and stood up with a sprightly jump. All ready. Let's get a wiggle on. Yes, sir. There might be a meeting we can drop in on at the town hall. Seems worth a look. What is this emote? Cat Ponder? You like that one? You like Cat Ponder? Ari, you need to find me. Look, Ari, I've discovered what you do, okay? You find emotes that you use in other chats, and you're like, I wonder if this is in Crawl's chat, and then it's not, and then you make me add it. And I'm cool, but I want you to find new emotes for me. Salty, you used to find emotes for me all the time. Where are the emotes? Is it because I don't let you have glue time? Huh? Is that it? Is it because I didn't allow cum council? Is that what it is? And now you won't find emotes for me anymore? Our emote game has staggered. We are at a standstill. I need the cutting edge of emotes. Sounds good to me. I wouldn't mind sitting down and spelling either. Yes, I did, Ari. And I like it. We need an emote for Gamba. We do. It's ! Join. If I can't fuck them, I don't want them. Okay, Salty. Disgusting, but also based. And I respect that. What is that emote, Ari? Blueby. Oh, it's Blueby Karn. Oh. That's a really funny emote. You both start walking to the outskirts of the town, weaving between the clumps of houses and down the dirt banks. I love the eyes sticking out. It's like looking up. Like what the fuck? It's truly a what the fuck am I looking at? Well, bro, Lily, go to 7TV and find me an emote that you want to be Gamba. Keep walking on the flat stretch, smooth and compacted from the frequent travels of people. Some townsfolks in their porches wave at you or give a little afternoon as you pass on by. Is it just me, or does it feel like everyone here is nice at the most? Well, maybe, but I ain't complaining. It gives an enthusiastic wave to a small kid shyly hanging around outside their house under the shade. I get used to folks being nice to me. They not usually. I mean, I don't stray far from the gang a lot of the time. Maybe this is normal. Well, I suppose I wouldn't know either. You arrive at the large wooden building you'd been headed towards, noting how similar to the chapel it looked. Joseph walks up the small steps and opens the door with a rattle, holding it open for you. Thank you kindly. He follows you into the short, darkened hallway, closing the door behind him with another wooden rattle. The meeting hall is fairly large and simple and bright. This is obviously a chapel. This is very clearly a chapel. This is not a meeting hall. Meeting halls in Western towns are usually like real small, and they kind of just have like a table. The wooden walls are varnished and gleaming from the ample sunlight filtering through the arched windows. Rows of benches line the aisle, half facing away and half facing toward you on each side. Sitting on a nearby bench turned away from you is a hunched figure in black. Ere you come in, the figure jumps to life, rising from the seat. "Oh, it's a turtle!" They turn to you both, revealing themselves to be an elderly tortoise holding a small book in hand. Do my eyes deceive me, or do I see a new visitor to our town? It walks with the characteristic slowness of someone his age and nature down the aisles towards you both, but with a sprightly spring to his step. "Turtle Pope!" He tucks the book under one arm and extends both his hands to shake hands with you, Joseph, and then you. Welcome, welcome to Clemency, and to our meeting hall. I am Jacob, and what might your names be? So the lines do mean old, yeah, wrinkle, wrinkle, and then jawline. They're characterized, that's all. I'm Joseph, and this is my associate, Robin. Pleasure to meet you. I assure you, the pleasure is all mine. It has been a good while since we had a fresh face around here. Now, you'll have to excuse me, but I have some business to attend to quickly. Feel free to sit and pray here until I return, if you so wish. Before you can ask any more questions, he shuffles between you both and out the door. You and Joseph look at each other quizzically, sitting down on the nearest bench together. What did he say? Sit and pray here? That's what I heard too. Is this a meeting hall for prayer? The meeting house of God? I don't get it. You can't help but smile at his musings as he looks around the room, looking into the rafters of the ceiling before turning back to you. You lock eyes with him, staring into the honey gold and brown streaked rings of his keen gaze. He smiles at you coyly and looks away. Readjusting in his seat, you realize you were holding your breath. You sit up on the bench. More too, the hard wood at your back reminds you of your church days. All the fuss and protest against your mother about your Sunday best. You don't miss the frills and laces at all. You do miss singing hymns with her. She had a beautiful voice. I don't remember the last time I prayed. Don't cross my mind very much. Can't say you're missing anything. All the good it do you. Not a believer? I don't want to blaspheme, but God's done a whole lot of jack squat to help me all my life. Don't really feel like praying to someone who doesn't care about me. Someone like me, for that matter. Which is why I wouldn't have pegged you for a devout man. Joseph laughs a bit, almost mocking the idea. No, I don't think anyone could have accused me of that. That was some of the things I've done. But I still pray. Only the Lord knows if he's listening. But it helps remind me what's important to me. A lot of the time I just pray for family. Hope they're doing fine. I hope they are too. Oh, I found some fresh emotes never seen before. Crying. Good. Good emote. Good. I respect it. Let's see, what's the next one? Insanity. Good emote. I'm adding it. I'm cool with it. I like that it's only got like 9 channels. And confused. Oh, this is a good one. It's a 0 with emote. I like it. Good emotes, Ari. Where did you find these? You just browsing? You just browsing 7TV? You're doing the Lord's work in the house of God. I would expect nothing less. Crying confused. Wait. That's so good. Nice. There was a momentary silence between you, like a subtle shift of coals in a long burning fire, now snuffed by the door rattling open again. You looked behind you, and sure enough, it was Jacob shuffling in. Did you see that? He didn't have fucking bottom. He didn't have legs. There was none down here. 7TV is a wild place. Yes, 7TV. I think Twitch, truthfully, with how strict Twitch is with like, you got to be 18, or I think you have to be 16 to have a Twitch account, and like you have to be 18 to view most Twitch accounts, and they have like rules on what you can wear and what you can stream and what you can say, and like you have to be in very specific categories to dress a certain way or talk a certain way. Like you have to mark your channel as having political themes. I think that 7TV is not an extension that technically Twitch is affiliated with, but I do think that they should say like all these cum emotes are still no golden plank. Okay, fine. Only because you're here. I'll add it only because you're here. I think it's a little weird. It's a little weird is all I'm trying to say. It's a little weird that some of these emotes are just like disgusting. You looked behind you, and sure enough, it was Jacob shuffling in. He grabbed a broom and briefly swept some dust he tracked in back outside before closing the door with another rattle. Forgive me for the delay. I hope I haven't kept you two from your business. Don't worry yourself. We're doing just fine here. He leaned into it and nudged you playfully. Good, good. So, how may I help you, gentlemen? The word catches you off guard a little, the way it trips off his tongue so easily. No bitterness or mockery. Joseph seemed to stall for a moment before a little wry smile returns to his face. He adjusts in his seat to turn to Jacob, who had now taken a seat facing you on another bench. I guess it's third party, so they can't do much about it, as long as it's not straight titties out. Yeah, and I guess they do. It's not like they're explicit nudity. It's not like it's explicit pornographic material, or I will give it to them. 7TV is very good about. I have yet to see an emote that is like a straight up hate crime. I have yet to see an emote that's like derogatory towards a certain sect, group, religion, race, anything like that. You know what I mean? They're very good about keeping those emotes off the platform. So I guess I can forgive a little bit of degeneracy. Glue time, you'll never see it on my channel. I wish that they just kind of didn't have the disgustingness on there, but you know what? At least they don't have like overt homophobia or racism. You know what I mean? I'll give it to them. I guess that's why every single emote has to be reviewed before it can be accepted on the website. Well, we're just passing through, but I'm curious. You mentioned something about Preya. Glue time. I like how you typed it exactly. Ari, I know what you're doing. I know what you did there. Oh, Aya has an emote. Let's see. What's the emote for Aya? Come. No. Ari, I am not adding an emote of a black cat that just says come. I'm not doing that. I'll add a emote for come, but it's not gonna be a cat. No. That's weird. My name is not Shane Dawson. No. Make it a dog? No. Bad. Oh, well, of course. You must forgive me. I'm clearly far too used to the usual of the town. His slow drawl of words is comforting, like being told a long-worn story by your grandparent. This is a meeting hall for friends, Quakers, if you will. We're a largely Quaker community here in Clemency. Quakers. Ah, yeah, there's a lot of you folks out in Pennsylvania and the likes, ain't there? Yes, indeed, that's true. In fact, that is where I hail from. But I must admit, it has been a long time since I last visited. Sorry, I gotta say, I'm at sea here. I've never heard of Quakers. can't say I'm much more enlightened myself. Oh, wait. I can't say I'm much more enlightened myself. I don't know nothing about him. You both turn to Jacob expectantly. Okay, all right. Any future writers in here? Any future authors or video game makers or visual novel makers? Never name your characters with the same first letter. Do not make characters have similar names. That's just like 101. That's a law. Joseph, Jacob, too close. I keep confusing their who's talking because I'm just looking at the first letter. When people read, they skim. And they skim really quickly. That's how we don't actually read the full fucking word. We just skim across the letters and our brain fills in the blanks. And so if you make names too similar, then it's hard to keep track of who's talking, who's doing what voice I'm supposed to be using as narrating this game. That's a me problem probably. But like, you also don't want to get too weird with it. Like, let's take Fourth Wing for example. Xaiden. They spelled it Xaiden. That is a weird name. That is like the most. I'm a millennial having my first child and I'm 22. You know what I mean? That's like a weird name, okay? If it's too weird, then your brain hitches on it every time. So like, I know if it's a fantasy novel, it's weird to have someone named Jacob. But don't get so weird with it. Like, I'll even criticize the Lord of the Rings this way. Lord of the Rings, especially The Hobbit and the Silmarillion, name so many of their characters weird names that all kind of sound the same. It's no, I thought it was Xaiden. I don't think it was Zaden, was it? I thought it was Xai. Let me look them up. Or was it Xaden? It was Xaden. Yeah. Not Z, Xaden. Yeah. Anyway, the Silmarillion was really hard. I only read a little bit of it, and I mostly just watched a video explaining it. But I'll even critique it for that. Too many characters are named weird names that are too similar, way too similar. And it makes the book hard to read. It makes it harder to read. So if you're writing a book, make your names not too weird, unless that's the point, but different enough so that I can and go from like A to Z, and then start back over. If you've got more than 26 if you're juggling more than 26 characters, you've probably got a lot going on. You've got too much going on. You both turn to Jacob unexpectedly. Well, what's the simplest way I can explain our beliefs? He fell into deep thought for a few moments, eyes staring into the middle distance before coming back to life. We believe that there's a God in everyone, that we all have a inner light that guides us. We just don't perform sermons or sing hymns. Instead, we pray in silence together. There's no guidelines as to what you should do other than try to connect and listen to the light within yourself. We also very strongly believe in pacifism and do what we can to promote peace, denouncing all forms of violence and the degradation of our fellows who walk the earth with us, crawl the earth, one would say. It's important to respect the light of God within everyone. That's certainly how I see it. Sounds nice, but, well, things don't often work that way in my experience. Jacob smiles wisely, likely having heard the same sentiment many times before. Yes, there's certainly some that adhere to it more than others in town here, but it's always been an important tenet of our community. So everyone in this town are Quakers? Well, yes and no. Many of us are, but some of us more so just adhere to the same principles and ideals of non-violence and so forth. Quakerism isn't enforced, but it pawns this community. Interesting. What about old Sheriff? What about Sheriff? With the pacifism and whatnot, doesn't seem like it'd be easy. Oh, well, yeah, I can see you might suppose that. Sheriff cares about keeping the peace, but isn't solely responsible for it. We all are. It's what made this town so easy to keep going. Me and Chef see eye to eye on many things. You and Sheriff have been here for a while then. Did you find this place or something? You'd have believed it by the tortoise's age. It could definitely be as old as this town. No, you flatter me. I'm not quite that pioneering, but I have indeed been here for a long time. If you'd indulge me, I can tell you a little of my story. Please do. Jacob nodded, again drifting off into thought for a moment, then coming back with his words. Look at him! Little turtle! As I said, I'm from Pennsylvania. During the height of the gold rush, with so many heading west, many Quakers thought it would be a benefit to follow. Shadow Daddy Zayden alert. Okay. You know, when I read that book, I was real harsh on it, as you famously. Dude, he's from Pennsylvania, wowee, wowee, it's Wajosh. Wajosh, that's your name now. Wajosh is here. Wowee, Wajosh. Ah, Jackie LL, Jaquil O'Neal. No strat on stream, by the way. What do you mean no strat? It's right there, all the way, in the far bottom left. You're just not under me, because I had to be small. I gotta be little baby in the corner. Wowee. JB, Jer Bear, and Wages. Hi. Wow, wowee, Ari. Wowee, Jackie. Wowee, Taurus. Jackie has an emote, and you specifically did not use it.
Jack, yeah?
You guys could hear that, right? Jackie, ooh, Jack, yeah? We're reading, okay, since you guys just joined, that's how I spell Jackie. It's not intentional. I see, okay. Since you guys just joined, what we are doing is we are reading a visual novel. There aren't very many choices. It's mostly just going from scene to scene, but I do get to choose what order we do the scenes in, and there might be choices later. I think, however, in the video game description on the website, it did not say that there were multiple endings. I believe there's only one ending. So we're kind of just experiencing the story while I suffered through these Western voices that I'm doing. However, the story is main character, trans mask, is a scout for a gang. Hears that there's gold in this here town. They are sent to this town to find out more about the town before the rest of the gang shows up. They meet another scout. That scout also, we don't know yet in the story, but based on the description from the website, also trans mask, is the first person to treat our character with respect and call them a man as they are. Whereas their gang, the main character's gang, Robin is the main character, Robin's gang has never acknowledged them as such. Why use more letter when few do trick? Okay. But having to explain yourself means that you're using more letters. So if you just did what society was expecting of you, you wouldn't have to, yes, you would be spending more time doing stuff and using more letter and more word. However, you would actually save time by not having to explain to everybody. Bro thinks I'm going to conform to societal norms. Yeah. Are you running this game in the virtual machine? Yes, I am. Why do you ask? It was for Windows only. I could have played it in browser, but I didn't want to deal with that, so I just downloaded the game. I did notice, Ari, I watched my VODs for Nubby, and they're laggy. The VODs are laggy, and I'm not really sure why. I think it was because at the time we were only devoting 4 gigs of RAM, maybe, and now I'm devoting 6 gigs of RAM and 4 cores, whereas before we were only on 2 cores and 4 gigs of RAM. So though the game ran, it was recording choppy. So my 3 Nubby VODs that I uploaded this yesterday, today, and tomorrow are choppy. But hopefully there's no choppiness. I have found a new emote. Pib time? Link Coomer. I'm not I'm not adding that shit. Jackie, I'm not adding that shit. Yes, see, Ari, that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't choppy on stream. It looked great on stream, but recording, as you know, you might not know, Minnie's computer doesn't have a lot of RAM, so she can only play the game and stream. But she tried recording locally, and it like dropped her frame rate. Her computer couldn't keep up with streaming. Her stream was crashing because she didn't have enough RAM. I think that I am devoting too much RAM to the virtual machine and Chrome and OBS. And then when I stream, it's because it acts like a second stream, encoding twice. Yes. So what I'm doing instead, that was because I was capturing the virtual machine in OBS. But now I'm capturing the entire screen. So I'm not capturing the application. So I'm not like encoding the application. I'm capturing just the monitor, and I have the monitor in full screen. So it's as if I'm capturing my second desktop. And it seems to be working a lot better. However, we'll know when I finish this video, when I finish this stream, I'll watch back the recording. And if I'm moving up here in 4K without choppiness, then we'll know it's better. But if there is choppiness, as long as the audio is okay, it should be okay for a visual novel. But we'll know in the future that Nubby might be a little glitchy, which is a real big shame because I feel like it makes those videos kind of hard to watch, and I'm really ashamed of that. But I had a really good time playing Nubby, and Minnie said it was the funniest stream I've ever done. It's kind of dumb. You should be able to only encode once if you use the same settings for stream and recording, but OBS isn't set up that way. So that's what it is. I'm understanding. I'm an understander now. I see. It does make sense, though. I mean, it's literally like there's a file on my desktop right now that is like being written as if I'm downloading a file and it's halfway through download, so it's like a temporary file. So I really am devoting a lot of processing power to recording and holding that file. I do record at a higher resolution than I stream, so it works for me. I stream at 1080p, I record at 1080p. Because I can't stream any higher, there's no point in recording any higher. Also, because it's a Mac and I'm recording to, I guess I could record to an external hard drive, but because it's a Mac, I only have 3 USB-C ports. One is for my camera, one is for my mic. So I only have one USB port. And if I'm playing on my PlayStation, that USB port is devoted to my capture card. So I have no USB ports. If I'm playing on my computer, I have one open USB port. So I could record to my 1 terabyte hard drive, and that would free up memory on my computer. Because I'm playing on a Mac, 1440, but I record at 1080 because smaller recording size. I don't think you can stream at 1440. I think that you might be, because I don't think you can set your settings. Like when I'm a viewer, I think the highest I can view at is 1080. You know what? This sounds like you need a Mac Studio, more ports. Yes, and the problem with a Mac M1, M2, M3, M4, it does not matter. MacBook Pro is they only allow you to output to one monitor. One monitor. It doesn't matter if you do it through USB-C or through HDMI. One output. That's it. And it's so trash. Luckily, I only need 2 screens here and the one that I'm looking at. I believe they fixed it for later MacBooks. From what I saw, I think it's Mac M1 and M2, and I will admit I assumed. Do not click Hash's link. I'm clicking it. Why do people come monkey? All right, Hash, you're banned. Fuck you, Hash. I remember having to deal with that when designing my bro's desk setup. Yes, it is annoying. He sent another one. Why'd people come monkey? But it says please ban me. I'll give you what you I give you what you ask for. I give you what you asked for it. You get it. Wait, I like that one. I never want anyone to ever say, "Why do people come monkey in my chat?" Unironically. Like, I don't want that to become an emote that people use regularly. I think that I would rather die than have people, because I don't see the emotes. I just see the text. Oh, Jackie, you got timed out for posting too many links. I have to save you from prison, Jackie. I have to unban Jackie. There you go. Oh, yeah, actually, that's actually hilarious, because Jackie sent the emote again and got timed out. No, not Justin Bieber, JB. Okay, so MacBook Pro models with the M4 Max chip. Okay, but you need the Max chip, which is fucked up. Support up to 4 external displays simultaneously with the built-in display, based on the resolution and refresh rate for each external. Oh, okay. Interesting, Ari. But still, needing the Max chip is kind of... I think if I were ever going to buy another MacBook, I would... I still don't think that any of the chips after the M1 are worth buying as an M1 user. I know that I've derailed the stream completely from what we're doing here, and I know that this game, we're probably not going to finish this game. Honestly, a Mac Mini would be best. I think so too. I don't think I would buy a MacBook Pro again. I think that I would keep this. A lot of people, when they talk about buying another computer, they assume that you won't have this computer anymore. I would still have my MacBook Pro M1, and I would still use it, but it would be my leave the house computer. It would be my I'm going to go work in a cafe, or I'm going to go edit. You know, I'm going on a trip and I need to edit. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's very cute. We're adding it. Good one. 10 out of 10 emote. 10 out of 10 emote. No more people wide monkey come monkey. No more. No more wide people monkey coming. Okay. I would probably buy I still don't think that any of the M series chips after the M1 are worth upgrading to yet. The processing power, yeah, it's 2 times more, 2 times 4 times more. It's better. Who gives a shit? I don't care. It's still not good enough for me to update based on what I'm working with. However, if I were working with like After Effects or 3D modeling, then I would probably need more. But right now, as is, I can process an hour's worth of 4K footage in like 20 minutes, so I don't really give a shit. What do I need anything faster for? However, if I were to buy a better computer, the M5, so the next generation, which is probably going to come out next year, I would probably get a Studio. And then I would buy a Retina display to go with it. And so I would have my 4K OLED screen that I've got right here. And then I would, this might not even be 4K. This might be like 2K. And damn, that's expensive as fuck. Yes, that's why I'm saying if I were to buy another Apple product. However, well, genuinely, maybe now that I know that VMware, the virtual machine that I'm using to run this game, is so good, like genuinely, this is really good for what I need from Windows. I might never buy. I could probably play Arctic Egg now, actually, Bumner. I'm surprised how good it is. Look, my fans on my computer are not turning off, but it's running and everything's good. Like, Nubby runs so good and Binding of Isaac runs so good. Binding of Isaac didn't even run that good on my Windows laptop that I used to have. I don't even know where that fucking thing is anymore. But anyway. If you don't know what Nubby's number factory is, you're probably like, Nubby? He's nubbing on that thing? If you're specifically looking for a Mac that runs VMs well, for sure get more RAM. Yes, 100%. I would need... You know what I would probably do? I would probably plug in a terabyte hard drive or a 2 terabyte hard drive. And I would partition that off and then have my virtual machine run only off of that hard drive that I have plugged in. And then I would devote, if I had 32 gigabytes of RAM, I would probably devote 8 gigabytes to that, to the virtual machine. So I would have a fuck ton of space that does not impact, because the problem with Macs is once you hit over 50% of your internal storage devoted to like filled with stuff, your Mac, because it's an integrated chip, everything is together. That's what ARM is. Everything runs together, so a lot of your RAM is like processing in your memory. So when you have over 50% of your memory filled, your computer slows down. And every time you look up, why is my Mac suddenly running slow? It's because you have too much shit. And everyone is always like, you need to clean your drive of all the old bloat files that are like from old updates and shit, and you need to uninstall stuff and delete stuff and move stuff away. So that's why I can't keep any of my videos or my photos on my computer. They all have to go on a hard drive. I can edit, and then all of them go onto the hard drive, and I can't. Feels like the same with VRAM on graphics card. It's similar, I think. Using storage as RAM is cringe. There is RAM, but they're like processing in that empty space. So if you buy a terabyte of memory, like you have a terabyte version of a MacBook, you really only have a half terabyte before you notice significant drops in processing speed. Also, if you're editing, I used to be an editor for a YouTube channel. I'm trying to get back on that, but I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I talked about it a couple months ago. I don't think it's going to happen anymore. When I used to edit his 4K YouTube videos, I would have to ensure that I had at least like 300 gigs of open space for Premiere to be able to render that video. Because Premiere, probably a good selling point for Final Cut Pro, to be honest with you. The way that Premiere renders is they render out the entire video with all of these temporary files, like one frame at a time, and it creates this massive temporary file. And then when it's done, it deletes all that and it exports the final rendered finished video in whatever frame rate and resolution that you asked for. So if you export in 4K, it like renders and creates a file for every single frame of that 4K 60 video. So that's why if you're doing like slow-mo guys who do like 8K 120 frames per second bullshit, it's like massive, like terabytes of temporary files that then get compressed into like a couple hundred gig video file. So even just 4K footage, a 45-minute 4K video that I used to edit for this dude, is insanely big. And so I used to get errors like halfway through rendering, and it would be like, you're out of space on your hard drive. And that slows down your computer insanely. That's why RAM is often a big bottleneck. Yes, Ari, you understand completely. I'm not sure if I misunderstood what Carl said, but storage is used as RAM on any system if you're out of RAM. Yeah, Ari, that's a good way to put it. That's a much more informed thing. I think it's a program-dependent thing. I think so too. But anyway, I was trying to find out why my videos that I was exporting, it would say 40 minutes, and then it would take like an hour and 50 minutes. And I was like, why is it slowing down? And I went into this rabbit hole, and it was because as it created temporary files, it would fill up my memory. And as my memory got closer to being full, the processing power dramatically dropped, and it would take longer and longer and longer exponentially to render each frame and each temporary file, eventually making it so that it was like crawling in the last like 20 minutes. And so usually what I would do is I would hit export, and then I would like go shower and then eat and then come back and then like just wait for it to be done because it took so fucking long. Anyway, okay, that was a really long rant. Thank you for listening to me rant. If you didn't listen and you're just skipping to this point, here's the part where you can stop pausing, stop hitting the right arrow, stop double tapping on your screen to skip forward. We're good now. This explains it. Serverfault.com. Wow, Ari, this is why you're so smart. I was much younger then, much more eager to get on the trail and spread the ideals of the friends. Friends? Although I can't say my love of blabbing has waned much. He gave a charming, horse little laugh at his own jibe. The trail was very hard, but I learned much from others in the caravans and towns and cities on the way. So much life and light. I arrived in this here town, maybe more chipper than I had left, but it was not to be. His expression softened, drawing into himself, emotions failing to find its way onto his face. I loathed to speak ill of my fellow man, but when I arrived, this was a godless place. The miners had little care for each other, be it out of greed or desperation. Me casually disappearing, it's okay, man, you were just gone for the entire sidetrack. They were consumed by their need for gold, even those who had their fill. The whole town was tense and unpredictable. Arguments, even violence, would erupt whenever something valuable turned up. A new vein, gold in the river. They'd do whatever they had to get what they wanted. The night I arrived, they told me of the so-called savages that used to reside there. Very little makes my blood boil, I tell you boys what. But the way the miners talked about those Indians, how happily they told me stories about the ways they drove them out. Unspeakable things I dared not and would not want to repeat to anyone. I tried explaining the Friends' way, how even the savages, as they called them, had the light of God in them, and we were equally important in the presence of God's light, that the people we share this earth with were not our enemy. They had no care for my explanations. They had no care for the needs or lives of others than themselves. It made me wonder how Quakers passed to convince people of the evils of slavery, of the importance of peace, building bonds instead of destroying one another. I lost hope. I thought maybe things had changed so much. Perhaps this was the people's limit. Tolerance of those who could get in their way was no longer an option. Or perhaps I was just a failure, unable to convince a single soul of giving a damn. After reading the book Blood Meridian, it makes me appreciate this scene and this town a lot more. Blood Meridian is a book written by, I know his name. It's on the tip of my fucking brain. Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. If you've never heard of Blood Meridian, it is like one of the most horrifying books, and also apparently very accurate to what life was like in the Wild West during that era of scalping. Welcome, A6. During the era of scalping, where the Mexican government and the American government were paying $1 or 1 peso per native scalp. But here's the kicker: neither, when you remove the scalp from a body, you can't tell if it's a Mexican or a native scalp, because they both have dark skin and black hair. So what did all the Americans and Westerners do? They killed everyone, and then they would sell the scalps to an American town, kill everyone there, steal all the money back, go to a Mexican town, go cross the border, and sell those scalps right back to a Mexican town, kill everyone there, take all the money, scalp all the Mexicans, and then go right to the next town and do it again. That's what Blood Meridian is about. It's about a gang that does exactly that. And that's a minor spoiler, but the book is, I don't know if I can recommend it. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. And there's a character in it named the Judge, who is a albino giant. He's like over 6.5 feet tall. Albino, large. He has blood red eyes, because albino people usually have like, I can't remember the name for it, but there's like, their sclera are like transparent, and so you can see like a lot of their blood vessels in their eyes more, and the color of your eyes is melanin, I think, your irises are based on melanin. I'm almost 100% sure. And because albinism is like the absence of melanin, that part of their eye is like not very colored, so they have eye problems with light. Oh, that's good. That's a good emote. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I like that one. Good Gambit emote. And so, he's an albino man, and he's giant, and he looks like a demon, and he is the kind of main antagonist, main character. Anyway, I don't want to spoil too much about the book in case you want to read it. If you don't want to read it, there's a YouTuber named Wendigoon. You've probably heard of him. He's very famous. If you haven't heard of him, then welcome to a lot of content. He makes a lot of really, really long videos. He does kind of true crime. He finds out the as accurate of a story as he can to like cold cases and FBI fuck-ups and CIA fuck-ups, and he explores urban legends and the stories that created them. And like he did a really, really popular video on the Unabomber, kind of laying it out there. This is the video that explains everything. I can't send the link to Gambit emote. No, I added it. I added the message. Type Gamba in all caps and you'll see it, bro, Lily. Yeah, I can see your messages. Don't worry about it. Yes, it's a very long video. And he did a video on Blood Meridian, which was pretty well done. I do have a problem with his content a little bit. I would also like to say, if you... look, I'm not going to shame anyone for your beliefs. However, Bro Lily, you probably need to refresh. Sometimes 7TV won't pop up for people unless you refresh, and even then it still won't show up. Sometimes the emote doesn't show up for me forever. He is a devout Christian, so a lot of his videos are about Christianity, like books of the Bible, the lore of the Bible, lost arcs of the Bible. So if you're into that, he makes content on that. If you're not Christian but you're interested, he also makes feast on the content. However, I have a problem with his type of content, not specifically him, but I have a problem with his type of content when it comes to covering books, in that sometimes you'll find like videos that say full story analysis or story explained, and it's like a 5 to 10 hour video, a 3 to 10 hour video, and you click on it and you listen to it, or you watch it, or you like podcast it. I like to download videos when I go on long drives or when I'm working, and I'll just I'll podcast them. And sometimes videos like that are literally just them play by playing, explaining the entire story. They're not even explaining. They're not saying what what is happening, or like the motif, or the understory, or the whatever. They're not explaining anything. They're just retelling the story, instead of explaining what it means when Harry got his wand, because they've studied the story and they know how important this wand is. Where at that point in the book, you don't know. You just know that it's like a rare wand, and the wand maker is like, oh man, this is special. You know what I mean? I mean, if the video is that long, you need some fluff. But it's all fluff. That's what I'm saying. They don't add anything. They don't add anything to the story. They just say the story. You get what I mean? Like, I watched this video where this guy, I think it might have been a Wendigoon video, actually, now that I think about it. They explained what happens in a Junji Ito story called Hellstar Remina, which is like the best name. Hellstar Remina, great name. They explain what happens, but really they're just showing the manga on screen and reading it to you, and then like verbally describing each panel, and that's it. They don't add anything. They're not analyzing. They're not inputting anything. They're not talking about how it makes them feel. They're just reading the story to you and describing, but also cutting out all the nuance. It's like they're giving their book report on what's happening without any additional information. And that's so lame. That's so lame. I think that is the worst content. It's like reaction content, except you're just monologuing. I think that shit sucks. It's not a book review. Did you say this is a Wendigoon video? I'm talking about videos that are like Wendigoon videos. However, the difference is the Blood Meridian video is very close to this, where he's telling the entire story. He is spoiling the entire story. However, Wendigoon does a really good job of analyzing the story, talking about the historical context and analyzing the motifs and the themes. And Wendigoon does a good job of it. But shittier video essayists aren't actually writing essays. They're just retelling the story in kind of a dumbed down way for people to listen to and then say they read Blood Meridian or say they read this book or, oh my God, I love that. That's so great. Did you read it? No, I didn't. I listened to this guy tell me it. Yes, that video. I had to close it so that he wouldn't start playing. Yes, that video. So if you don't want to read the book, you can watch that video. However, it will spoil everything, and it's not the same as reading the book. Wajas, TMI, gross. Also, I can't believe you didn't pull me up on Frosty and watch me while you were on the toilet. You're not a real fan. Fake fan. Fake fan. Everybody does it, but that doesn't mean I need to hear about it in my chat. Anyway. That was a really long tangent to say that whenever I see... This is the first piece of Western media that I have engaged with, except for Sinners, that has made me remember Blood Meridian vividly. Wajas, I need you to stop talking. No, I don't want to hear about your period cramps. I don't want to hear about anyone's period cramps. I need you to be quiet. I love a Wendigoon video. When my lung collapsed, I watched his 9-hour conspiracy theory video. I also watched that while I was at work one day. Why did your lung collapse? I want to watch Sinners, Wagahoo. Sinners was a very, very good movie. I really liked that movie. My friend is in Cuba right now. He went on a photography vacation. And I sent him a photo of the main antagonist from Sinners. I'm not going to spoil the main antagonist. And I was like, if you see anybody like this, don't talk to him. Don't listen to him. He laughed so hard because we saw the movie together and he was like, this movie fucking rules. It is so good, dude. I think it might be one of my favorite Westerns. Like movies set during Western times. The old tortoise looked forlorn, brow furrowed. What's it called? Sinners. Sinners. Fuck my disgusting Chungus life, bro. So true. I literally woke up this morning and thought that. When I woke up this morning and remembered that I don't have a job, I looked at my bank account and saw that my credit card payment got taken out in full. $150 gone every month. I literally said, fuck my Chungus life, dude. I got a final presentation on Monday that I'm done. Hell yeah, Gold! Dude, fuck yeah, Golden. Fuck yeah. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Congratulations. I don't know if that means you're done from work or you're done from school, but congratulations. I start summer classes Monday. That's Pog, Wajas. That's actually really Pog. I miss school kind of a lot. I was really glad to be out. I celebrated when I graduated. But after like 2 weeks, I was like, I kind of miss college. I don't miss high school. High school fucking sucked. And there were really good times. I did have times where I had a lot of fun in high school. But I missed the classes, Wajas. I missed the structure. You missed the environment. No, I miss learning and going to classes and having information presented to me and having to like research and having a goal. It's been 5 years since I graduated, almost, and I have been like lost. I wish I could go back to school and still pay my bills and not take like a financial hit. Well, A6, you go to college in a different country, so we, of course, are going to have a different experience. My lung collapsed because I used to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and an ounce of weed a week. Ah, so you were just smoking. Yeah, I get it. Well, I'm glad. Hopefully you have changed your ways. I am glad that you are better now, Jackie. That's what you think, A6. Yeah, A6, once you get a real, like, adult job, oh, do you miss college? Do you miss college? Sounds like you want to do a PhD program. I need to get my master's before I get a PhD. So I know that people make fun of people who get PhDs, doctorates, masters, whatever, because it's like, oh, you couldn't leave the womb of university and join real life. You couldn't become a real person. Well, I fucking did it. And it's not like I want to crawl back into the womb and not have any adult responsibility of getting a real job and climbing the corporate ladder. I just realized that I like academia. I like going like, okay, well, today's Tuesday. I have to go to the library so I can fucking study and use the library computer. Alert, which word? Alert? Womb? Academia? Alert crawl. Oh, I did say crawl. I did, didn't I? Sometimes I read crawl online, and I'm like, how do they know me? I had a teacher who would write us up for not calling her doctor. Well, I mean, you got to give them the respect they deserve. I just meant PhD programs in the U.S. are typically paid positions, and you do school. Oh, you're right, Taurus. Yes, that is true. For art, that's not always true. For art school, that is not always true. They still make you teach. They still make you TA, but you also have to pay sometimes. And so my professor was like, if you apply for a master's program or a doctorate program and they make you pay, don't do it. Only go to a school that pays you. I think I've been chatting too much. I was about to write Airy as my name this past week at some point. Your name isn't Airy? That's not your real name? I mean, you do some school and some work, TA research, yes. In art, usually you don't TA, you teach a class. You'll teach like a beginner class. So like if I were to go get a master's in pottery or photography or printmaking, which are the fields that I specialized in, I would be teaching the beginner class. About to dox herself. But she was also hella racist, so I didn't want to call her doctor. Fair Golden, totally fair. Taurus is Taurus's real name. Yeah, no. Your name is the name that I'm reading right now. I don't care what your real name is. Gaycom told me his name. And I was like, your name's Gaycom. What are you talking about? Why? Who is that? I don't know who that is. I was playing a game. Like he was reliving these moments so vividly that these were the same faces he wore. Then along came Sheriff. Oh, Sheriff. I was a little worried that when Sheriff was first assigned to the town, that I'd just have another person to fight with, someone with authority on the side of the miners. Instead, I found a kindred spirit, someone who actually listened to me and agreed with me on many things. Jackie, your name is Jackeel? Like Shaquille? That's your name. What is Plinkhead? Plink? Very quickly, we became firm friends. Eventually, Sheriff got sick of the miners, decided enough was enough and shut down the town, forced the miners to move elsewhere. The entire time he'd been talking about Sheriff, his face was lively and lit up, his hands moving with his words. My real name is Ruh? No. That's Ruh's name. That's 2Ruz's name. You can't steal Ruh's name. Guys, don't pretend to dox, even as a joke. Yeah. Stop doxing. Cringe. That's not the French Plink. Wouldn't that be the Spanish Blink? I guess. I guess French has quai too. It was a lot like how your pastor used to give sermons. Surely there was resistance to the whole mining town being packed up like that. Of course, but Sheriff did what's right. That's the way Sheriff's always said. I felt buried by the weight of the town's hate. Their convictions, like stone walls I could not scale. I'll be grateful to God until the day I die the sheriff came here. I was given so much hope when I lost it all. Me llamo. What does he say? My name is Sheikh Zula, the Mike Ruler. You want a taste? I'll bring it to ya. Frylock. What's the rest of it? Frylock. I can never remember Frylocks. Meet why I got the money, see? Meet why I get the honey, see? Riding in my car, feeling like a star. I can't remember the rest of it. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. I feel like only Jackie would know what I'm talking about. For some reason, I feel like Jackie 100% watched Aqua Teen Hunger Force. White boy stuns chatter by rapping in perfect French. Oh, I know it. Yeah, it's the opening theme to Aqua Teen Hunger Force that used to play on Adult Swim. Sometimes in that show there was a robot made by the evil scientist with his nipples out. He was an old man. He had like spiked hair and his nipples were always out. And he made this robot that was this big rabbit, and the robot just bounced like this. I was not listening, but I love I fucking knew it, Jackie. Literally, Jackie, I just knew. Too many cooks. Man, I've shown that video to so many people. And he just goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And he just does that. And that's the whole bit for like the entire episode. It just does that over and over. And now when I go, oh, what day is it? Well, yesterday was Tuesday. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Anyway, what was the rap? What'd you say? Me llamo. What does he say in Sekiro, guys? What does he say in Sekiro? He says, what is his name? The guy on the horse. Someone in here has to know the Sekiro horse guy's name. Gyobu Masataka Oniwa. That's right. Me llamo Gyobu Masataka Oniwa. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Thank you. I knew it. I knew you had to know. And you've been here ever since? Jacob chuckled. Yes, we have. Only a handful of us stayed after the miners left, and it was hard to know whether this town would still stand. But we felt sure we could find more people who cared, as long as we worked together. Nice, thank you. More people like us. His words hung in the air, settling around you and Joseph as Jacob settled his gaze on you both. Okay. I get it. Everyone here is gay. I get everyone in this town. I'm getting the picture now. Somehow, Jacob, his words just made sense for me. Everyone in this town is gay. So those miners are still around? A lot of mining towns die down because the gold drying up. But if the miners just left, I guess there's still some here. Well, yeah, I suppose so. I can't say I've thought much about it in recent years. By A6, we don't encourage those looking for gold. I'm sure you understand. It's nothing but trouble. His warm gaze turned somewhat steely. You weren't sure how long it might go on for if Joseph didn't pipe up. Course. Jacob, we're just a curious bunch. Thank you for talking with us strangers so long. His stern eyes disappeared in an instant, and he humbly waved away Joseph's thanks. No. It's tradition for gay stories to have only gay characters. Truing right now. The pleasure's all mine. It's been good to talk to new ears. If you'll excuse me now, I must get this place tidied up before today's meeting. Quaker meeting? Yes, indeed. You're both welcome to join us if you'd like. Thank you, Jacob. But I'm thinking we'll be off anyhow. You all stand up. I like how they just fucking stretching and shaking off the stiffness from wings and tails and legs. Go well. Go well. They took too long to fuck, though. Salty left. Salty said they're playing a game. I can't remember what game. And keep the light close to you. You both nod and leave through the same rattling door as before, catching one last glance at Jacob starting his chores before you close it. I think there's not going to be any fucking. I think there's just going to be kissing. I think that this is a game for 14-year-olds questioning their sexuality or maybe trying to come to terms with themselves as a person. So I don't think we will get any fucking. I think we will just get acceptance and maybe confession of feelings. This is a yaoi, but this is not boys love. Is this a game or a story pretending to be a game? This is called a visual novel. It is a book. Visual novel has a wide range. Dating sims are visual novels, but not all visual novels are dating sims. Dating sims have roots and choices and options and dead ends, good endings, bad endings. There's ways to like hurt people's feelings and get some people to dislike other characters. There is blackjack though, which I got fucking washed. I got fucking scrubbed in a few minutes of blackjack. We got like 2 minutes of blackjack. I literally clicked through it because I'm trash. However, visual novels can be on the same level of like just a picture book. This one does have music. It's got animation. It's got scene changes. It's got no outfit changes yet, but it's I'd say on the tier of visual novels. If 0 is like Class of 09, this would be like a 2, and then a 5 is like a dating sim. Does that make sense? We're kind of just clicking through it and reading, but at least we get some choice in where to go in what order so far, and there are a couple mini games. I'm so good at blackjack. When I go to the casino, I play blackjack to make some money, to play poker to lose the money. Jackie, that's hilarious. I have never gambled. I've played the lottery. That's gambling. I'm not the target audience. People sad leave. Class of 09 at least has choices at all. Demon time. I uploaded my Class of 09 playthrough where I rinsed the fucking game because I didn't like it, and I got comments I got one comment, and it was just all caps. I love Class of 09. Jackie says Class of 09 is a goated game. Yeah. I think it's not a game. It's an anime with sliding characters. It's a vocal performance in a cringe anime style. That's why I call it like a 0 on the scale of visual novels. I'm sorry if I'm offending you. Joseph stands with you for a moment in the porch of the meeting hall, looking off into the town. What are you thinking? Well, we know now that these folks ain't gonna put up much of a fight. Maybe some of them, but... And there's definitely gold here, somewhere. Joseph had no real emotions playing across his face, but he was standing much more still than you had seen him before. Class of 0 out of 9, Taurus. I should have named my YouTube video that. That's so fucking good. I'm gonna rewrite my review of that game and make it Class of 0 out of 9. That's so funny, Taurus. I'm telling you right now, I'm stealing that. Like he was trying not to breathe. Come on, we've got more people to talk to. He exhaled sharply, the feathers on his beak next to his nose fluttering. Yeah. You walked past the houses and people like before, but didn't feel like waving back. Straight up +20, that is actually good. Walking back to the edge of town, on the other side from the sign you now knew read Clemency, you both sit on the edge of a little hillside slope, kicking dust up on yourselves as you settled on the rocky crevice. Can you believe that some people say crevice as crevasse? Crevasse? Like they're drinking Voss water? Dude, it's crevice. Come on. Just like it's not salmon, It's salmon. And it's not pecan. It's pecan. Okay? And it's not baguette. It's baguette. Okay? Get it right. I think that's all the useful places of interest here. Unless we want to go knocking on folks' doors asking for gold. Why are you umming me? You guys don't like my hard-edged, this is how you say these words? I think we've disturbed this lot enough for a day. Your resting hand becomes restless as it brushes against some dry desert grass, entwining it between your fingers, slowly pulling it from its roots. So what do we actually figure out? Everyone here is kind and mostly defenseless. I think pacifist is the word. You tug more grass up into your palm. Hand? They can maybe fight off some bandits, but... How did I say that? I'm not saying that again. I didn't even... I'm not saying that again. Thanks for the stream. Bye, Wages. Or, I'm sorry. What did I call you? Wajosh? Bye, Wajosh. I'm not saying that again. I regret that. It didn't happen. Would you see? That's his real name. Don't dox him. But no officers are gonna come help, and they ain't gonna do much good against the whole gang. And there is gold here, somewhere, in some forgotten mines no one's seen for decades. I don't like what you see anymore? Okay. Do you like Wajace still? Can I call you Wajosh? Can I call you Wajosh? That's okay? Okay. No more what you see. Respect. Show respect. Well, it's gotta be around here. This is a mining town, for Pete's sake. How far could it be? You shrug. Sheriff said the town was moved. The mines can be anywhere now. Maybe it really was just rumors. Maybe there's not really anything to find here. Respect? Bong here? Ain't no bong way. Okay, I hate the bong meme. That is really funny though, Ari. Plus 20. Actually, bong meme, plus 18, minus 2. I think you know as well as I do that these folks are antsy. Friendly as well, but cold gets the hackles up. Ain't no bong way. Someone has to know where the mines are. You need to make Ari, you need to make ain't no bong way. You need to make the ain't no way, but with the bong. You knew he was right. You knew how to read people well enough. Joseph stood up, gazing out across the landscape of the town and beyond, searching toward the horizon. Gonna use those special eyes of yours, bird brain? More use than you chasing your tail, mutt. He looked at you for a moment with a smirk, and you smirked back. On it, boss. Cat okay. All my emotes requests have been bong lately. Okay, actually, Ari, I'm not requesting that emote. I don't like the bong meme. I'm not requesting that emote. However, I think that you spiritually have to make that emote just for you, for your soul. I think that you made a really funny joke, and it would be really funny if you made an emote out of it. However, it will not be added to my channel. I will not be adding any more bong emotes to my channel. You guys got bong me, bong you. That's all you get. Understood? I made myself clear. However, I'm okay with that. You know what? Maybe I should make like the emotes for like ain't no way. What are the other ones? What are like classic 7TV emotes that we use all the time? We have Alu, creature Alu, and I just added so cute. But like I want ain't no way. What I need to think about this. You know what I'm talking about? What? Is what an emote? Oh, what's a good one? Yeah, what's a good one? Where he's like, what? Really mad, but it's creature. I want to remake these emotes, but it's creature. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. I want these emotes that I use all the time. Clappy. Clappy's a good one. I could probably record Clappy. Legitimately, I could probably record Clappy. like myself, just set up my phone camera and record myself fucking clapping his hands together, he'd hate that shit, though. He would hate that shit. I could probably do Pog, too. If I had a couch, I could shake him around a bunch. But my problem is the only chair that I have that I could put him on and feel comfortable doing that is my chair or my bed, and both of them are black, and my carpet is really plush, so I could maybe do that. He's old. I can't shake him around too much. His back hurts. But it's really, really dark green like grass, so I couldn't cut around him for that. I'd have to do it on like a white. That's what the Pog emote is. If you type Pog, look at them. Like, we love the Pog emote, but that's what someone's doing. They're literally they're shaking the camera in their cat's face. And like, we love the E. I don't have it in this chat. But the E that we use for Reeb, where it's R and then E, that's someone grabbing their cat and going like this. You know what I'm talking about? That's most of the cat emotes where they're fucking going crazy are that, just that. He looked at you for a moment with a smirk, and you smirked back. You rolled the grass in your hand between your fingers, squashing the reeds of it together, dropping seeds in the sand. I can't see nothing. Goddamn sun in my eyes ain't helping neither. I don't know if Bartholomew would help out. He was maybe the most friendly one of the bunch. Sheriff didn't even talk about the gold. Because Sheriff knows how to keep the town safe. You look up at Joseph, his puzzled face squinting at the sun, looking down at you. Looking back, out into the desert, the sun sits between two rocky outcroppings in the distance, a light bulb plucked from the sky by unmoving fingers. It'll start getting dark soon. Oh, Sybilla's here! Good morning to all the cute chatters in Sussy Crawl and Airy 2. Wow. Okay, there's cute chatters, and then there's Sussy Crawl, and then Airy 2. So, okay. That means I'm cuter than Airy. But I'm not as cute as the cute chatters? Or is this not a spectrum of cuteness? Is this like there's cute, and then there's Sussy, and then there's just Airy down here alone? Answer the question, or be bent. Angie, I'm always cute. Airybot's cute. Airybot is legitimately cute. Putting it into the Uwu Gemini was probably the best idea you ever had. I think I started liking Airybot when you asked if it knew what a glomp, if it wanted to glomp, and it said, sure, I'll take a big huggy. That was so cute. However, if like a girl acted like that in real life to me, I don't think I could handle it. I think I would cringe. I think I would legitimately be like, I can't talk to this person. But a bot in Twitch chat, I considered killing it after Sonicu? What is Sonicu? What are you talking about? Uwu glomps you. Oh no. Oh, big huggy. At least do wub you. Dacom asked what its favorite hedgehog was, and it said Sonichu? There's no way it said Sonichu. No way. That's so fucking funny. Oh my, that is like 10 out of 10. Uwu gets glomped and zorbs up. Hey, yo. No zorbing in chat. Airy does Airybot like to change they phone? Change they phone? What are you talking about? Sheriff knows where the mines are. Bartholomew said he never saw them, and Jacob was never a miner. He had no reason to go to the mines. Jacob was born old, and that's what it is. What? So you never saw them? That don't make sense. I'm not saying that. I'm saying even if he did see them back then, he wouldn't remember where they are now. Sheriff still knows where they are, because they're the biggest danger to the town. I'd wager Sheriff even checks up on them every so often to make sure it's undisturbed. I guess that checks out. We don't have time for a stakeout, though. You balled your hand into a fist, the grass yielding and turning to dust. Oh my god, this motherfucker with the iron grip. I can ask it. I'm mid-raid and drunk. No chance I spell anything right. Oh, okay. Good one, Jackie. Oh, I'm glad you're in my chat, drunk. We'll need to know where they are anyway. We got all we need. Knowing where the mines are would just be a penny in the hat. We should think about our next move. You ignored the tiny knot in your stomach as you thought about what to do next. You should just leave, bud. There's nothing else to do here. We should just think about resting, getting dark soon. You think we could stay at the saloon? Sheriff did offer. Yeah, sure. You want to stay here for a night? Seems like least we can do before we leave. Parky ain't streaming, so you are stuck with me. I noticed that. I've got a bunch of Parky chatters in here, like Stebla and Airy and Jackie and Hatch. I mean, you're welcome here. I'm glad you're here. But I did notice. I was like, oh, no one else must be live. Unless camping outside has some mighty appeal to you. Joseph flashes a wry smile. I show up even when Parky is streaming. You do, Airy. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Airy. Thank you and everybody for being here, as opposed to all his other streams. Yeah. All right. Let's go have a look first. No point bringing the horses down if I can't afford the rooms. Standing up, you feel the dust fly between your fingers with the winds blowing east, and follow Joseph a few paces behind. I have been playing this game for 2.5 hours. It is now 9 p.m., 9:06 p.m., and I feel like I have gotten like 1/5 of the way through the story. They said that this is a 5 to 6 hour experience, but I also have been yapping for like literally an hour and a half of this stream. I think this is going to be like a two-parter. I think we're going to go for like another hour. If you're watching this on YouTube, first off, why? Leave a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Second, thanks. I asked, do you like to charge the phone? And it said, yes, I love to charge the phone for you. Ooh. That's so good. You walk toward the saloon again, looking forward to having somewhere to rest. You don't remember the last time you actually stayed in a room somewhere. It was always a tent, or just in your bedroll lying beneath the stars. You see Sheriff and Bartholomew standing on the porch of the saloon, talking intently, but can't pick up any clear words on the wind. Sheriff notices you both as you approach, patting Bartholomew on the back as he takes his leave back inside. Sheriff leaves the shade of the saloon's overhang, walking with purpose towards you both. Have I returned? Have you? The blue of the sky was starting to fade into oranges, pinks on the edges of the sparse and tiny clouds overhead. XD, Bo. Bro Lily, don't worry about it, dude. Just do you. You both slow to a stop as Sheriff approaches you quickly. The face approaching you was different from before, and you see Joseph's face fall a little. Sheriff came to a stop in front of you both, twisting the cane in the dirt a little. The old and frail figure standing in front of you was shaking a tad. You could hear slow and deliberate breaths from the chest. The usual confidence and bluster of Joseph dissipated under this new glare of Sheriff's. The new and sharp eyes, unlike those you'd seen when you arrived. There was a tiredness in them, a fierce tiredness, beneath which was a wild look you'd only seen in the eyes of the newly grieving. Gripping the cane, scaled knuckles turning white, Sheriff spoke in a low and calm voice. Oh, my nose! Goes at Arifim and pokes their belly twice in a row. Bongo tap, peepo bonk. Dude, and then you dab. Are you behaving? How was your Tuesday? Stare, angry. I'm not sure if you behaved or not. First off, it's Friday. Second, what? Where did you type that? Yeah, I should have known. Thought maybe I was wrong this time. Y'all seem so, I don't know, like you should be here. Even so, I knew there was something off with what you were asking. Is everything all right, Sheriff? We were just going to see if we could stay at the saloon. Sheriff slammed the cane onto the dirt with such force you feared it might crack the earth beneath. You know damn well things are not all right. I had a little chat with my friends around town talking about the newcomers, what they'd been asking about. Just passing through town. Give me a break. I should have known it was too good to be true. I know when I see the gold fever in them eyes. We're not here to cause trouble, Sheriff. We'll be on our way tomorrow morning. Really now? Well, Sheriff reached a free hand behind and pulled an old revolver to point at you. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it once. I made a promise to protect this town and the people who live here, that I would do what was right by them. So both of you are going to turn tail and leave right now, and you never come back. And if I ever see either of you heading this way again, I will shoot you dead before nary fur nor feather crosses that town line. You stood still next to Joseph, a small fear of walking taking hold as you feel like the wind might knock you off your feet. Understood, Sheriff. Joseph started walking away, not stopping for you, even as you stood there a moment longer just to say one word. Sorry. You knew that didn't make up for it, but it was all you could do, all you could muster from your tight throat. You turn quickly and walk away after Joseph with your head down, staring at your feet as they rhythmically sped up, one after another, through the dust tracks of a town you couldn't come back to. Wow. So Sheriff caught wind of what we were doing. We were really obvious with it, I'm not going to lie. It was pretty obvious what was going to happen, what was going on, why we were there. Tell me about this gold. Oh, you know about this gold? Tell me your life story. How long you been here? You know where that gold is? Jackie was the real uwu airy bot this whole time. It's true. The climb out of the valley was quiet. The wind was the only noise to reach your ears. No words coming to pass between you and Joseph. Only the occasional meeting of the eyes, when he looked to make sure you hadn't fallen behind. Those eyes, that face you had grown accustomed so quickly to having at least the hint of a smile resting, was devoid of much emotion at all. He wasn't thinking about it, he felt. But to not think about it meant to not think at all. And so he didn't, his limbs carrying him up the path, but no one was home. You understood, of course, as much as you'd like to not think about either. You couldn't ignore the small dread in your chest, like it was in the cavities of your insides, seeping around between your organs. A creeping tar. Not a suffocating tar, just making you feel heavy, dense. If you stopped walking now, you didn't know if you'd start again. The sun was starting to dip into the horizon when you reached your original meeting spot at the top of the cliff. Both your horses were lying in the long shadows of some rocky mounds, your own shadows stretching across the sand as you go to tend them. You both hauled your bedrolls off and started to unpack them, giving the horses some water and sorting through your belongings. Still without a word, a camp for the night quickly formed between you as you worked. Joseph had brought a thin metal stand with him to hang the cooking pots over, and gently tossed you his book for matches as he erected it. You struck the match in a familiar fashion, placing it in the middle of a dried assortment, blowing gently to encourage the shy flame. Lifting your head back up from the budding fire, Joseph was having a little issue getting his stand. His face was still the same neutral, empty face from before, and you noticed a little catch in a joint that hadn't flipped properly. You brought your hand up and flicked it out all the way. Either the lurch of the stand falling into place, or the momentary touch of your hand against his, seemed to jolt Joseph out of his listless state. Thank you. A smile, just a small one, a weary and wary one, had returned to his face. You were glad to see it again. It was enough to make your chest a little lighter, the tar receding just a touch. Wait, if the characters are animals, why are horses still horses? That's typical of stories like that use this type of character. These are people. You can't really imagine them as animals. They are animal stand-ins for people. Their horses are still animals. Their horses aren't. It's not like you know what I mean? I do understand you. Yeah, but I used to like question that and be like, but what? They're just riding other people. The horses, they're just like, the horses are like slaves. What is this? But like, I just divorce myself from that mentality because fuck it, man. That's what it is, you know? So I get you. I totally get you. But you just gotta suspension of disbelief, baby. They're animal people, whatever. With the fire lit, a modest plume of smoke started billowing into the sky and scattering in the fading sunlight. Joseph got up momentarily to rummage in one of his saddlebags, coming back with a tin and some bundled cloth. I've got some beans, some salted pork too. Not sure what you got with you. Oh, right. Yeah, hold on. You had plenty of water still, and if he was propping up the bulk of the meal, you had some molasses to add too. You brought them both over and let Joseph, sitting on his bedroll he laid out now, take the reins. Wasn't really a two-person job. With the beans gently cooking away now in the pot, he sat there, lazily stirring it with a spoon. Some beans? We're about to watch Cars 2, everybody. You grabbed your bedroll and laid it out on the opposite side of the fire, squatting and dropping onto it with a thud, tucking your legs towards you. Beans? Resting your head on your knees, holding them to your arms. In your arms. Oh! It's cute! Hold on. This is the thumbnail. No, wait. This. Stay. Okay, there we go. That fucking... Why did that have to show up? Why did this have to show up? Why? If you know, you know. The two of you sat like this for a short while, watching the pot steaming. I'll just put the game logo over that. It's no big deal. Steaming away, the orange flames licking the underside of the well-used metal. You found yourself thinking about what happened in Clemency without even realizing. The pang you felt in your stomach when Sheriff knew why you were there. The sharp chill that shot from your neck to your tail when the gun was pulled on you. You weren't scared of being shot. That wasn't it. That wasn't what you set your palm into a cold sweat. It was something else. Something about having to leave that town. Sorry for letting you do so much of the talking today. I'm more the quiet type. Sure, you figured that out already. He flashed you a weak but genuine smile. Not like I did us much good. It wasn't your fault, Joseph. Sheriff was paranoid, and we were bound to be rumbled eventually. Besides, it doesn't really seem like there's any gold here, unless we feel like setting up a new mining operation. Yep. I'm sure Black Vulture will love to hear that. Wasn't my fault, I'll say. He sighed, a sharp, exasperated exhale through his nose holes, one knee of his crossed leg fidgeting and bouncing as he stirred the pot. You were a little taken aback that he seemed to be mocking what you said. Maybe it just wasn't what he wanted to hear right now. Still, you understood his frustration. What would your bosses think if we told them what this place was like? Would they even believe us? Sorry. You were snapped from your thoughts by his apology, a slightly guilty look on his face, knowing he must have seen that he hurt your feelings a little. You're right. It's not my fault, exactly, but... Hell, this is a mess, Robin. His fidgeting was spreading, playing across the feathered fingers of his wings, his face, his eyes, his knees again. Like a ragtime tune was playing all across the insides of his body. What's he like? Black Vulture. He's, His breathing was ragged, too. You got onto your knees and reached your hand onto his that was stirring the spoon even now, a gentle but firm grasp, stopping his motions. Your eyes met over the cooking pot. He looked like he was seeing you again for the first time in a long time. The shaking in his hand came to a rest and relax its vice grip on the long spoon as you held each other's gaze. Let go. I'm here. It's all right. He nodded a few times, taking his hand away and resting on his haunches, stretching his legs out. A few moments passed as Joseph regained his calm, laid-back demeanor. One leg still bounced a little, a quick rhythm, tapping a dance hall tune. No kiss. No kiss. Where's my kiss? Where's my kiss? I need my gay cowboys to kiss each other. The sun was almost gone now. the last dregs of its light in the desert, turning everything in the distance a single dusty red. You could see the stars now as you looked at the sky, the light continuing to fade. More and more points of light dotting the way to the east. You turn your eyes away from the sky when you heard the sound of a penknife flicking open. Oh, don't mind me, just doing a little preening. He started taking the knife gently to his wing, very gently. He seemed to be scraping away old feathers while also opening new pin feathers scattered across the wing, in motions almost like shaving. Forgive me if I'm talking out of line, but why don't you use your beak for that? Oh, well, Mama always told us you don't use your beak for things around anyone other than family or lovers. It ain't polite. He seemed a little sheepish admitting it, like it was an uncommon quirk of his family. You asked about Black Vulture, yeah? Don't you know the stories already? Yeah, but those are just stories. I know what it's like riding with someone, a few tall tales trailing behind them. Joseph snorted a little, still making his way across the wing with his small knife. That sounds about right. Pretty sure some of the more flattering ones I've heard were left behind by the vulture himself. You settled on the other side of your legs a little, getting more comfortable as you kept stirring the ever-cooking pot. I kind of, wish... I wouldn't really call Robin... I know that you can name the character, but the way that I've been picturing the story, and maybe this is a me thing, I don't really picture Robin as a self-insert. I don't really feel like Robin is me, you know? And so when Robin thinks, it says, you settle to your other leg. You try to get more comfortable. I think it should be Robin shifts. Like, this is a story of two characters, not me dating Joseph. This is about Robin dating Joseph. You know what I mean? And so I feel like the writing could be a little different there, personally. Just because I don't see Robin as as a self-insert, and the writing has not really put me in Robin's shoes very much, you know? Like, the quiet, you know what I mean? Maybe it's because I'm not the target audience to be self-inserted. You know what I mean? Maybe the target audience for this game loves to self-insert as Robin and is totally cool with the you. I'm not saying I'm not cool with it. I'm saying that from a writing perspective, I feel like the way that the story has gone. Robin is a little timid guy who doesn't talk a lot, which I think is a self-insert trope. Is it? Maybe it is. Maybe I just haven't read enough stories like that to understand that as a trope. Because for me, I'm viewing it as like, this is a whole different character than what I would ever self-insert as. You know what I mean? The like timid, quiet, and like how do you self-insert with a character that has an arm cut off unless you have an arm cut off? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, is like, this is a very lived-in character that is hard for me to just put myself into, you know? If that makes sense. We're gonna begin with the man himself. Jeez. He's a real piece of work, that one. I can tell you that much for sure. He's a city slicker that considers himself a cowboy, even though he hates getting his boots dirty. Acts all gentlemanlike and such. A real flannel mouth. He'd charm the pants off you if you had something he wanted. Then, when he's got what he wants, he'd jab the knife towards you pointedly. He'd stick you in the back and twist it hard to hear you cry. He'd turn the knife back to preening. He's a terrible shot, too. There's some stories that he could shoot the cap off a bottle without spilling it from 50 paces, but he ain't that sharpshooter, never. He's almost as bad a shot as me. Got someone else for that. See, that's how you run in his posse. You make yourself indispensable. He tapped his knife on the ground through the word to make his point. His gang is on the smaller side, but they're plenty loyal. They need to be. There can't be anything. There can't be anyone else. You're loyal, then? I'm the eyes. I'm useful. I get on good with a lot of them. And Black Vulture keeps me around. Win-win. You understood what he was saying, what he meant, what he really wanted to say. You understood how it felt to be under that kind of looming shadow. No one for miles around, but don't say anything just in case. You'd seen what happened to other people. You both had, for sure. Joseph was as far from a greenhorn as could be. He swamped hands and started the knife on his other wing now. So what about Curly Wolf? You said there were plenty of tall tales about him. Split fair for me. Split fair with me. You didn't look at him when he asked you. You kept looking at the pod, peeking over to check the beans. This looks about done to me. Joseph stared at you for a moment. When you did meet his eyes, and then closed up his knife, kneeling over to look with an approving whistle. Looks good to me. You laughed a little at as his stomach gave a hearty growl, fetching the bowls and holding them while Joseph served you both a big, slopping portion. Ooh, I'm trying to get a slopping portion. Come here, Joseph. Night had come now, and you both gathered a little closer around the fire and moved the pot stand to the side. You could see him easier now. Oh wait, you could see him easier now, with it out of the way. Oh, I'm getting tired. The stutter is coming. With the pot lifted, the fire rose, dancing in the wind, sometimes hazing your view, the blur flitting in and out as you glanced eyes while you ate. Believe it or not, but I ain't the cookie back at camp. Someone else got that privilege. The cookie? He was clearly joking, but the beans were... Oh, the cookie! Oh, he's the cook! He was clearly joking, but the beans were some of the better you'd had. I never would have guessed. I don't cook that often, but I make some mean donuts from time to time. Oh, you do now? I'll have to try them then. I hope so. Oh! It was so selfish to ignore his question, say nothing about Curly Wolf. So rude of you. You weren't raised like this. You couldn't, though. Never. Or more like you didn't know what to say. How many years had it been now? Sorry. I should have said something when you asked about my boss. I get it. No, I mean, of course you do. But it's also that when I said I was the quiet type, it's more than that. If I'm shooting straight with you, I don't remember the last time I heard my own voice before today. At the camp, I might say yeah or no, but I don't really talk. And when I'm away on a lookout, there's just no one to talk to. I don't want to talk to myself and just be reminded I'm alone. I've never talked about him. I wouldn't. Joseph looked straight at you, even into you, it almost felt like. You could see the fire between you in his eyes, flames fluttering across the irises. The intensity of his look gave way to something like relief. No, don't worry about being a quiet one. I think it's part of your charm. There are lots of wannabe tough guys who want to act like you, with no sweat. The strong, silent type. Besides, guys back home are always telling me to shut up. Not that I give them the satisfaction. I can tell you that being quiet doesn't change things. Say more shit, regardless of whether you make a fuss. Oh my god, dude. The cat hair has somehow found me, and I'm miserable. What is happening? You sighed, a long sigh. What words could you even use for a man like him? Curly Wolf is a bad egg. Creature hair. I think sometimes he was born like that. I know he can't have been, but I don't know what godforsaken things happened to him to turn him into what he is. He's probably the meanest, roughest bastard you'll ever have the misfortune of meeting. Anyone you can think of that you wouldn't want to run into, he's worse than that. I don't know about Black Vulture, but the stories Curly Wolf leaves behind, I don't think they even match up to how dangerous he is. I've seen him gun down traders riding away on horseback 200 paces away. It's easy to get his dad up, and he's the last person you'd ever want to do that to. He'd make sure of that. Not the brightest you'd ever meet, but his instincts are keen. He's never made an empty threat, and he'll happily get his hands dirty to make good on him. Shit. Black Vulture said before he'd be willing to pick a fight with Curly Wolf, but they've never met. And now I'm wondering if he has any idea what that would get him into. He ain't stupid, but he's definitely too cocky for his own good. Oh, eat your bowl before it gets cold. Nothing worse than cold food. You did as he said, mulling over what you talked about while you ate. Joseph had a head start on you. But even so, his eating was voracious, and he finished before you were even halfway through yours. He sat back from his hunch over the bowl, wiping his beak on his arm. He looked around some, into the fire, out into the darkness of the desert. At you? You could tell he didn't want to stare, but his eyes took you in anyway with long glances. He coughed, clearing his throat to stall for the words he was thinking of. Say, Robin, I wanted to ask. He grabbed his knife again, taking it into his wing once more, looking away as he asked a common question. Your arm. I hope you didn't think me cruel for asking, but what happened? Did he do that to you? You were pretty used to questions about it, but you appreciate the genuine warmth behind his words at least. This whole thing. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It was a practical joke of sorts, if you call it that, by some of the guys during a camp. Took my bandana, shoved it in my mouth of one of the horses. Shoved it in the mouth of one of the horses. Egged me on to go get it back. Bye, Golden. I'm gonna go shower and sleep, so enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy sleeping, Golden. Have a good Friday evening. Reach my hand in. Of course, the hoss gets all antsy and bites down. Starts thrashing, trying to get away. And don't remember much after that, blacked out from the pain. Next thing I know, I'm being hauled to some doctor. Told they had to amputate before I got petrified. Joseph had stopped preening at this point. Looked at you with some real watery eyes and a soft expression on his brow, both anger and horror. How do you even get a broken caps lock? Your keyboard is dirty, that's what it is. Got the bandana back, so, win some, lose some. I'm sorry. Nothing to be sorry for, a long time ago. You just live with it. Full and finished, you set aside your bowl, taking another appraisal of your surroundings, looking up to the sky and its carpet of stars. It was quickly starting to get cold, so you got up and went to your horse, fishing some blankets out for them. Oh, the light is inverted. That's interesting. Looking inside the bag, you couldn't find your usual extra blanket for yourself. Shit. Must have forgotten to take it before you left. You spied your binoculars in there. You took them and walked to the edge of the cliff again. You were about to put them up to your eyes when you realized you didn't need them to see what was happening in Clemency. The whole town was dark, except for bright lights prominently shining from the saloon. You saw the shallow silhouettes of people dancing play across the street in front, and if you listen very closely, music. Seems like they're having a rip-roaring time. Yeah, I wonder if they would do it tonight, like Bartholomew mentioned. Why wouldn't they? What have they got to be worried about? His voice was a little cold, blunt, ice cubes in a drink bumping your teeth as you sip. Out of all the towns I've been kicked out and run out of, this is the only one I want to come back to. This place ain't for us. We're trouble, Robin. We're no good for these folks. Tomorrow we'll be gone. We'll tell our bosses we didn't find nothing, and if we're lucky, they'll just go on their way. Maybe in another life we could have gone back there. Would have been nice. But this is our life. Our only one. It is what it is. We move on. That's how we live. You could feel the wind blowing behind you, ruffling your trousers, whistling past your ears as it seemed to push you towards the edge of the cliff. Doesn't look normal, Bro Lily. Yeah, I guess it is. The wind kept howling, picking up and dying down, whistling off the valley and kicking up clouds of dust around the buildings down below. Curly Wolf is... Why are you meowing at me? I don't know if you can hear him, but he just walked up and started screaming. Curly Wolf is going to ransack this place, even if they don't have anything. And what do you want me to do about it, huh, Robin? It's not my problem. You feel now the desert night on you, your fingers, the tips of your ears starting to feel the tenderness of the cold and the wind. You're shivering. You shouldn't have talked back to him. You knew how that always went. It never ended well. He just made him feel worse, just like it was his fault. Why should he have to listen to your stupid concerns? It was your shit to figure out. He owes you nothing. You just met. You don't know each other. If it weren't for convenience, you would have shot each other hours ago. Give him attention? I will after stream. I'll figure out what he wants. It's either water, food, my attention. He wants me to go to bed because my lights are on and he's tired, or clean the litter box, something like that. He always wants something like that. Or he's hot and he wants me to turn the AC on, or he's too cold and he wants me to turn the AC off. It's one of like 10 things always, but I have to figure out which one it is. And sometimes I can't figure it out. And then at like fucking 1 a.m, he's standing in my doorway and going, meow, meow, meow. Just like that for like 30 minutes straight. And I'll get up, and then he'll run away, and I'll chase him around the apartment, and then I'll find him, and I'll pick him up, and I'll shake him, and I'll be like, what do you want? What do you want, motherfucker? Why are you waking me up at 3 in the fucking morning? And then he never shows me what he wants. And so I just like put him down and then go back to bed, and then in the morning everything's fine. And I don't know what he fucking wants from me. He's the reason why I say, like, yeah, I really like him, but I'll probably never own a pet again. I'll probably never own a pet after him. When he dies, when he's like 20 something, I'll probably never own a pet again because I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. You heard the sound of shuffling behind you as you got up. He starts walking towards you. Here it came, as you knew it would. You tense up as he approaches, closing the distance, expecting the My camera is like spasming because I was shaking. Expecting the due anger. Closing your eyes when you feel him at your back, ready for the blow that's coming. You flinch as you feel a weight around your shoulders, a squeeze of them too that you expect to hurt, but is so tender it couldn't possibly. Opening your eyes, you see a thick blanket draped around you down to your knees. You look cold. Don't want to get a consumption just standing there. You know how cold the desert gets. You drop the binoculars gingerly by its strap to the floor, now clasping the edges of the blanket with your hands tighter around you. You could feel how cold your fingers were just below your chin, almost numb. How long had you been standing here for? I'm dreadfully sorry. You got nothing to be sorry for. You and he sat back down by the fire, Joseph giving it 1,000-yard stare. Thank you. Nothing to it. Get warm. You pull the blanket tighter again, the desert chill still sweeping underneath. Are you not cold? I've been round the fire all night, haven't I? I'm fine. He's lying. You can see his feathers twitch and shiver, but he's trying hard to hide it. You wonder the truth of what he said, too. That we just had to move on. Standing up with the blanket, you walk around the fire, standing over him a moment as he looks up towards you with wide eyes. You sweep the blanket around him and sit down, shoulder to shoulder. You were right. He's definitely cold, but a lot warmer than you imagined. Whoa! Ow! Whoa! I told you I'm fine. Don't give me that blow, tough guy. I know you're not. He looks like he's going to say something, but just shuts his beak. Suddenly seems a lot warmer. Oh, roasted banana! I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I said. I know. I wasn't the fella I've been around all day. I'm just scared. He nods softly, as to be almost unnoticeable. Yeah, more scared than I have ever been. Together you huddle, bringing the blanket tighter and tighter and moving closer to each other. He smells like the desert, dusty and sweaty. Why is this so warm? Why do you feel like this? Not warm like you're around the fire, but like there's a fire inside you. Warm coals shifting around inside and embers spitting in your throat. Have you ever felt like this before? Joseph, He looks at you, your face so close together. You lean your head into his shoulder, staring into the wild dance of the fire. I haven't met someone like me. I haven't met someone like me before. Or someone like you. You're extremely kind, even to a stranger like me. I wish I could know you more than these few hours. I know I have to ride back in the morning, but of all the hopes I've hoped, the strongest is that I could just stay here, that the sun would never rise. I don't want to go back. You stay clinging to him. After a few moments, he pulls you tighter. I have to say, I feel the same way. I can see in you someone who's faced so many hardships, someone who deserves better, who's worked harder than any of them lump suckers back where you've come from. We're a couple queer fish in a barrel, I'd say. Lord knows how we found each other. The sun will come up again, and we'll have to go our separate ways. We don't have another choice. I just wish it wasn't so. I wish. You lift your head and look at him, but he just gives you a look and turns back to the fire. What are you thinking? He sighs wearily, like he's been asked to carry the world on his back. It's a flight of fancy, that's all. It's not realistic. You look at him curiously, watching his eyes. He looks at you, almost for approval, before he thinks about what he wants to say. I wish we could run away, that's it. The two of us, far away from everyone and everything. Right east till we know no one's chasing us. That sounds nice. You both cuddled for a little while longer, sitting close and resting your heads together. The thought of running away tick over in your mind. Is that what you want? As if he could read your mind, Joseph asked. What do you want to do? You thought more. No one had ever really asked you that, and even so, you knew what you wanted to say. I'm tired of running, Joseph. I want to fight. I want to kill Curly Wolf. Really? It's the only way I can think to be free of him. You know as well as I do. You don't get to just up and leave. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to be free of Black Vulture too, but do you think that's something you could do? Kill him? I can't do it alone. Our gangs, Joseph, they're gonna destroy this town. And after, if we ran away, we'd never be safe. We'd be looking over our shoulders the rest of our lives. I don't want to run away from things no more. I want to run towards a better life with you. Joseph's eyes were sympathetic, but his expression was of discomfort. Hi, Minnie. Oh, you have popcorn? You have 2 grilled cheese? Yo, you said at the end of your stream you were going to get a grilled cheese, and you fucking did it. I think you're right. And I do want to help you, but I'm useless in a fight. I can't shoot straight. I don't want to die, Robin. I wouldn't let that happen. I'll keep you safe. We can keep each other safe. We haven't been living our lives, Joseph, just surviving. Something better than that is worth dying for, I think. A fight feels inevitable. We should face it. You really that desperate to get out? You nod, head held against his shoulder. He sighs that same sigh again, long and heavy, almost theatrical if it weren't for the stakes laid out before you both. I think you're right. A chance like this won't come again. I might even be tempted to call it fate. We should talk to Sheriff again, I think, somehow, if we can. He yawns. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we ain't gonna figure it out when we're bone tied. Should get some sleep. Come morning, we'll talk more. Figure out something. And then, hope on a kiss and a prayer that we make it out alive. He chuckles. Ain't that the story of our lives? This will be the last time we have to fight like that. I swear it. You both fall asleep against each other, dreaming of that promise, praying for a better tomorrow, and willing Wow. That was really good. That was part one of this story. We made it through day one. We've set the stakes. We have the characters. Love them. Great characters. And the writing, surprisingly good. Usually with itch.io games, itch.io visual novels, you get a little bit of like amateurish in there. You get a little bit of like the motivations aren't very good, or things are just kind of happening. But with this, like, the characters are very well developed. The town is very well developed. The backstory is very good for both characters. Um, the writing is very nice. The dialogue is there. It's present. A lot of times, the dialogue is missing from games that are made by beginners, right? But the dialogue is very well done. I very, very like it. The story is very sweet. The romance is very present and endearing. And so we will be continuing this story tomorrow. I'll be back online at 5:30 p.m. EST, Saturday, tomorrow, May 10th.
Hello.
Roasted Banana, thank you for following. I'm glad that you're enjoying the story. We will be back tomorrow, okay? And we will finish this. We will finish this story. Hopefully I won't ramble as much, but I appreciate you guys for putting up with it. I probably could have finished the story today. We probably would have been a lot closer to done if I didn't yap for like an hour at the beginning of the stream and then an hour in the middle of the stream. But you know what? That's what we do here. I know. I'm a talker. I'm a yapper. I just don't stop. But we will finish the story tomorrow, okay? Hopefully see you tomorrow. Roasted Banana, if you miss it, don't fret. I do record these and I put them up on YouTube. So if you miss this or you have to go and you want to see the end of it, no sweat, dude. Just catch it on YouTube. Crawl Upon the Earth VODs and Crawl Upon the Earth, you know what it is. But I just put it up there. I'm not like pushing the YouTube. You don't got to subscribe to me. You don't got to like the video. You don't got to comment. Don't worry about it. Just if it's there for if you miss it and you wanted to watch it. And so tomorrow we'll finish this, and then Sunday we'll play another itch.io game, okay? Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here.